You're listening to Bourbon, Beards, and Belvederes, the podcast where whiskey, cigars, and beard products aren't just a hobby, they're a lifestyle. Hosted by Adam, Paul, and Jerry, three guys with real experience, full beards, and even fuller glasses. Each episode serves up thoughtful tastings, laid-back cigar talk, and honest takes on beard gear and beyond. From top-shelf pours to everyday essentials, this is the place where conversations flow as smooth as the whiskey. So, pour a glass, light one up, and enjoy the ride. This is Bourbon, Beards, and Belvederes.
Welcome to Bourbon, Beards, and Belvederes. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Paul.
And Adam is out tonight with a little family pet emergency. But tonight is going to be our Veterans Day episode. And if you're watching live on YouTube, I know it's a week away, but this episode will come out next Monday, so the day before Veterans Day. So that's why it's our Veterans Day episode. We got a killer lineup, veteran-owned and veteran-supporting brands. We could talk about 10th Mountain Whiskey, which we've had on the show before. Some beard oils that I've just found out recently. It's bearded, that is all. Veteran-owned, we'll talk about them. And then we are joined by a fantastic guest over here. They are a veteran-owned, family-operated cigar brand with some fantastic sticks. I'd like to welcome the mind and beard behind Monte De León Cigars, Mr. Carlos De León. How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on. Glad to be here. By the way, loving this 10th Mountain Whiskey Rye.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later. Kind of want to get into the cigar brand for a minute, just kind of introduce yourself. So if you want to a little bit introduce yourself, give a little bit of background on yourself and the brand.
All right, yeah. So my name is Carlos De León. Originally, I was born in Massachusetts. I was also raised in Puerto Rico, served in the U.S. Army. I have a family. I have my two kids, my wife. My son's currently serving in the Army right now. I served in the U.S. Army for about 10 years. After I got out of the Army, I was, like many veterans, trying to figure things out in life. And one day I came across one of my buddies. He invited me to a cigar lounge, and I had, kind of forgotten what that vibe and that felt like, because first of all, I had never been into a actual cigar lounge before. But I knew a little bit of cigars, especially from being overseas when I was in Iraq. I remember our commander introduced us to smoking cigars. So when we went to the cigar lounge, I immediately fell in love with just the atmosphere and the energy I felt when I walked into the cigar lounge. So it was like in that moment, something clicked for me and said, this is it. I've been spending these last couple years trying to figure life out and what I want to do after the military, because I was just going through that phase where my kids, when they were in school, they were constantly being asked, "Oh, what is your dad doing?" They would always say the same thing. "Oh, my dad was in the Army." And I was like, man, that's cool, and I'm proud to have served, of course, but for me, that there had to be something more, than just me having served in the Army. I still feel young. I still feel like there's other things that I want to do in life. So yeah, when I got introduced into this world, I felt like this was my new calling, and I began this journey in the cigar world, and I've been running ever since. We started off simple, where unlike other companies, you might start off with the actual product. No, we didn't do that. I started off with legit looking for a logo first and how to tie everything together. And I knew I wanted to tie everything to the military, but I didn't want a logo that was over the top military, because I felt like there was a lot of that already out there, and I did not want to feel like a copycat in some sort of way. So what I ended up doing is I ended up hiring a U.S. Army combat veteran to make our logo. So for me, that was the touch I needed into our logos. So we created the logo. We started off by purchasing a trailer, and we pretty much hired a master carpenter where I would go all the way up to, I think it's Ludowici, Georgia, where I would drive 3-4 hours every morning around 4 in the morning, get there, and I would work with him building this trailer and turning it into a traveling cigar lounge. So we started with that. It went great for a couple years. People loved our trailer, and then, we eventually we first started selling other people's cigars, but then we had so many people that kept asking us, "I see your logo. Where the fuck is that cigar?" So, I immediately I was like, at first I thought it was impossible. I didn't think it was even, it's not something that the industry tends to share, if I'm saying that correctly. So I figured it out, and I've been with the same folks since about 2019 that I started with our cigars, and we've been running ever since. Our cigars come directly from Nicaragua. In the beginning, we started off with a gentleman that was making our cigars in Puerto Rico, who's no longer with us, rest in peace. But directly after, that was a way for me to tie everything to Puerto Rico, to our background being from Puerto Rico. But once I switched over to Nicaragua, it was because I love cigars that come from Nicaragua. So that was for me something that had to be. And yeah, I'm extremely happy with our lineup, and that's pretty much where we've been.
Nice. Yeah, the
Sorry,
first
we're
time.
kind of fucking on a rant there
No.
for a second. Yo,
No, I remember the first time I met you was it was probably 19, down in Boogerville, for the what was that?
which was so crazy to me.
It was, who put that event on? Whiskey in a Hammock and
Whiskey in a Hammock. Yeah, shout out to Whiskey in a Hammock, because they were rocking with us. They were there from the beginning as well, putting together events and having people invite us out. So we were extremely grateful for those opportunities. And when you told me about that event, I was like, holy shit, like that's a hole in the wall type of event in the middle of fucking nowhere in fucking Florida. So it was super dope to see that you remembered that.
It was just some biker bar out in the middle of nowhere. And they mentioned something that they were putting it on, and then Jason from Warriors and Whiskey mentioned something that he was going to be there, and I was like, you know what, I'm off that day. I'll make my way down there. I think it was like a 30-minute drive. Was talking to them for a while, and then I saw the little trailer out in the distance, and I was like, I could go for some cigars. It's open. Like I said, it's a biker bar, and it's one of those that as soon as the door opens, you just have all the cigarette smoke just fly out. And I was like, I don't like that smell, but I do like cigar smell. So grab a couple of them. I can't remember, but I do have one left over. You got.
Wow, yes, that is our Duos Grados.
I got that one left over,
which is basically like saying two-step, because it's a double dual wrapper cigar, a barber pole.
Yeah, I grabbed, I think 5 different ones, 4 or 5. I think it was what you had on the. I had that one left just because I don't typically smoke those 7-8 inch cigar. I don't have too much time typically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sit down with them. So that one's been sitting in there. So that one's been in the humidor for, like I said, since 19 or 20, whenever that event was. Which after this Charlie Mike, I'll probably get into that one. But yeah, that's when I first met you, and like I said, I smoked through those cigars, and I was like, all right. And then I've seen your trailer around. You're still doing that trailer, right?
No. So we ended up selling that trailer a few years ago. It was just a lot to handle. During that time, and this is probably a little gem or whatever I'm giving away. I don't know what that's called, but anyways, I'm giving some insider scoop out here. So when you have a trailer, especially in the location that we live in Flagler County, you're not allowed to just park trailers in your driveway. So you have to park those trailers in storage. So with paying for storage fees, insurance for the trailer, and all those things, like those fees, continuously accommodated every month. And in order to not, stress that, that means you would have to have way more events going on. And I didn't get into this business to fucking sit here and work my ass off like that, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I love the industry, I love the cigar scene, but I don't want to be every single day having to be out there doing events and stuff like that. I want to do the events that I'm passionate for, that I want to go out and do, and have a good, I want to enjoy what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And if I don't feel like doing it this weekend or that weekend, then I don't have to. If I have family things going on, for me, that takes priority over everything. So, it was time for me to kind of let go, which was very difficult. Like I said, we built that trailer from the ground up. And I'm telling you, till this day, I don't care who's out there. I'm telling you right now, you have not seen a fucking trailer like the one beat.
Oh,
The one we built,
it was a beautiful
seen
trailer.
a fucking trailer that like we built, man. Like that humidor, that dude, we drove from here in Florida all the way the fuck to New Hampshire, to Lancaster, New Hampshire, where they had us come out and do an event. And that lets you know the the fucking the engineering of everything, because we took everything into consideration. We took everything, because if we're driving, we're hitting bumps, you obviously can't have a glass in the humidor, because then your shit can fucking break. So what did we use? We used acrylic. As long as it created the same type of sealant, and the interior had the cedar wood and everything like that, cigars were still in a great environment. So yeah, I as you can see, I still take a lot of pride in that
It was
trailer.
a great trailer. You had your little like walk up window, which I remember is like, all right, I'm guessing this is where you walk up and be like, all right, let me get whatever. And then you were just like, nah, just come on
even
in. And it's literally like a walk in humidor.
even the window, I took pride in. So normal trailers with concession windows, those windows are not that big. If you go to right now to like a food truck or something, those windows are not that big. I made sure that the cutout of that window was large enough to where it felt like a personal experience with my customers. So they almost felt like they were inside the trailer. Once they walk up, it's like they can see everything super clear, and they were able to talk to me like they were right here sitting in front of me. So it was crazy that I thought about it in that moment, but I did not know what those results were gonna be. But people really loved that feeling, that energy of having an insanely big window.
Yeah, I'll have to look through pictures because that memory shows up on Facebook every year, and I'm pretty sure there's a picture of me standing out that window. So I'll have to see if I can find that picture and then post it so everyone can
Oh, that'll be
see
great.
it.
Yeah,
So everyone can
definitely
see it because
share that.
that
That'd be
was a
awesome.
fan. It was awesome. It was literally a rolling humidor.
Yes. Everything, man. Yeah, it was amazing. But we're definitely happy. We switched it up to now, to our canopy, which I'm sitting under right now. But same with the trailer. It shouldn't be of no surprise that we took insane pride in also making sure that our canopy looked fucking super dope. So our normal setup has like a back wall, has our logo and everything. Last year we went to the Heritage Cigar Festival out in Ybor City, and man, I think I showed up to that place. I want to say somewhere between 750 and 1,000 cigars. This event started at 11 a.m. Man, my buddy's my witness. My buddy Jason Yeye Martinez, comedian, he was there. He, bro, by fucking 1500, right? 3 p.m. for those of you. So by 3 p.m., we were fucking sold out. We were sold out. People, for some reason, kept getting drawn over to which was surprising to me, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even want to bring a lot of cigars to that type of event, because I felt I had like imposter syndrome at that type of event. Why? Because this is a fucking big cigar event, so you're gonna have big names out here, right? I'm not gonna mention their big names right now, but you know who they are. The biggest names are gonna be present at this type of festival. So how the fuck am I gonna be able to compete with those type of guys with this crazy setup with these beautiful boxes? And so I was like, just gonna show up with X amount, but man, we fucking killed it, and it was the greatest feeling ever, especially being the first year without the trailer.
Yeah, I just pulled up the. I've heard about that festival, but I've never. Like, I grew up just outside of Tampa, probably about 35 minutes outside of Tampa in Ybor area. So I've heard about the festival. I've never gone, and so I went just for this year.
Oh, if
December
you get a chance, go to that festival. It's
yeah.
awesome.
We'll have to,
because they do it at, I think park is Centennial Park, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And what they have is like that square. They have it where around the square of the park, they have like food vendors, they have cigar vendors going all around, and then they have the MVP, the VIPs. Fuck, man, I'm still stuck on fucking sports mode. You know what, guy, you're distracting me. Stay over here. Take off the jersey. Whoa, what's going on here? Damn.
There we go. There it is.
Oh shit! This is a michelada done super right. Oh, hey, thank you. Gracias, mi amor. Man, look at that. You can't find this, dude. You gotta see this shit. That's a fucking michelada right there.
That's a meal right there.
Huh? I said I'm super grateful. Thank you, bro. I'm on a fucking podcast right now. You can't. You're interrupting. This is crazy. If this was the 80s, you wouldn't be interrupting this podcast. Yo, sorry. Where was I? What were we talking about? Fuck. Oh, so
the cigar festival.
The cigar festival. So yeah, it's a dope festival. They have the VIP. They have the music going on, the dope vibes, and it's only 11 to 5. And in my mind, I thought that was not enough time. I was like, man, 11 to 5. What the fuck? But bro, it honestly did what it needed to do from 11 to 5. Like legit, they fucking turn it up from 11 to 5 out there.
Yeah, this year, December 7th, 2025, 11 to 5. I wouldn't be able to make it this year, but I'll definitely look into it next year. But looking at the vendors list, booth number 1 is you guys.
Boom. Damn, I didn't even know that was our number.
I don't know. The first, literally, like you click vendors and it has all like the vendor space sold out, the date, the time, and then there's your little logo. And then I was just scrolling through to see booth 14 is our buddy Jacob from Bain Blends. So
from what?
Bain Blends. He does beard oils and a bunch of like men's grooming with the beards and all that stuff. So if you got a chance to walk around, definitely hit his table up. His oils.
Send me that
fantastic.
information. I want to make sure. So you said, say it again one more time.
Bain Blends.
Bain Blend. Bain like fucking Bane from Batman. Bain.
BAIN. Yeah.
No, close enough.
Yeah. Close
all
enough.
Right. So Bain Blends. Bet.
I'll send you a text with his information.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
If you got time, definitely check him out. We had him on last month. I don't know. All these episodes start running together. Yeah, great products. I've bought more from him since we've talked. Some great products he's got. Hand creams, shampoos, conditioners, which you guys don't have to deal with, but they got the beard shampoo and conditioners. Ton of products, ton of scents. So definitely check him out.
Hey, I don't know about you, but I have to shampoo. Like, I'm the type of person that I have to shampoo my beard, like shampoo, conditioner, like almost daily, especially if I smoked. Yo, you know how it is. I'm married. I can't fucking sit here going into bed like smelling like I fucking just got done fucking, you know what I mean? Like my wife, My wife is going to bed with a fucking fire pit. Like, no, like I gotta fucking wash this shit and make sure this shit is like, washed real good, put the oils in it, and get into bed smelling good. You know what I mean? So whenever I hear guys that I don't wash my fucking beard, that's where I draw the line. I was like, you sir are nasty.
Yeah. I'll send you a text with this information, and definitely need to hook up with him when you're there. But yeah, I'd like to get into the cigar before we get too far in and forget about mentioning it.
Absolutely.
Me and Paul, and I think you said you were going to get into it once you're done with that one. We're smoking the Charlie Mike. It's a 4x6.
I'm gonna switch over right now. Why? Because I can. But hold on. Here's the Charlie Mike. What it looks like, just in case. This is.
Yeah, it's a little cigar, but it packs a punch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I always tell people this is what I compare it to. Like when people ask, because usually when people see the dark wrapper on it, the double Maduro San Andres wrapper, they immediately become a little intimidated. But I try to tell them that it's like think of like a high-end whiskey, a high-end tequila. Like it's fucking smooth. It's a smooth cigar. I dare almost say that it's a fucking medium-bodied cigar.
That's what I was just about to say. When I say it packs a punch, I'm talking more of flavor-wise than like the body, because it's definitely hitting that medium, maybe medium plus, but it's full of like chocolatey nuttiness and some sweetness in there. Like I said, it's 4x60. If I'm not mistaken, it's a San Andreas double Maduro wrapper and a Nicaraguan binder and filler.
Yes. Cigar comes directly from Nicaragua. Absolutely.
And it is smoking fantastically and tastes fantastic. What do you think, Paul?
No, excellent cigar. I started out with Knob Creek bourbon, the 12-year Knob Creek, and sweetness in that went fantastic. I'm getting a lot of darker notes, like a dark chocolate, there's some earthy notes in there, maybe a coffee kind of. It's like some kind of like I don't want to say tannic, but like leathery coffee kind of on the sides of my tongue from the cigar, which I'm really enjoying, especially with the sweeter pour. I switched up to Taconic Barrel Strength, which is another sweet bourbon, and it's going fantastic. I'm very interested to see how it's going to pair with the rye, the 10th Mountain Rye. That'll be my next pour that I think we all have. So interested to see how it goes with that. It's a little bit more of a higher proof, spicier pour. So I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. But you say you're getting these made in Nicaragua. How much influence do you have over the actual blending? Do you just trust your blenders and you're more of
No. We have been involved with all part of the process, right? The only thing we don't share is when it comes to the binder and filler, we don't share because those are private blends. Mm-hmm. However, when it comes to the process, we have been a part of the process of every one of our cigars since the very beginning. Like our cigars have been chosen throughout the years. So we started off with sampling. They would send us cigars. We would try them out, say, okay, we like this one. We don't like this one. We're looking more for something like this. And that process has brought us to our current lineup, which, we're extremely happy with. This cigar right here specifically, the Charlie Mike, I don't know if you guys know this, but the reason why it's the Charlie Mike is because Charlie Mike comes from a military term, which means to continue mission, which means you gotta, regardless of what's going on, you gotta fucking move forward. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a favorite for a lot of folks, especially more avid smokers. And it's been a favorite, especially amongst the military community, for a long time.
Yeah, I started out with the 10th Mountain Bourbon, which is a 92 proof, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 92 proof, 2-year-old. Not 100% on the mash bill, but it's a higher corn, sweeter profile whiskey. So it kind of helps balance out those little bit of darker notes with the cigar. I do have a little bit of the 10th Mountain, or I did try a little bit of the 10th Mountain Rye with it just to kind of see. It's fantastic. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then I also have a Starlight Rye, a doubled oak rye, doubled oak with the French oak. And I'm going to tell you, it is like mocha. It's chocolate, nuttiness, a little bit of sweetness, like caramel. It almost tastes like you're smoking and drinking a coffee, like one of those sweet, like high-end coffees, not just like a drip coffee. That's going really well together. It went well with the 10th Mountain, the bourbon, although for me that 10th Mountain bourbon's a little bit sweeter than I typically like, but it's going real well with that rye as well. So get into that in a minute. But yeah, something we got to mention just because it's all over all over the website. I'm pretty sure I've seen you wear hoodies and shirts. I'm surprised you're not wearing one. The letters FITFO.
Yes, Fitful.
If
Fitful.
you could probably figure it out. I was going to say it's the unofficial motto for you guys. It seems
exactly. It's our mantra. We call that the life mantra. Figure it the fuck out. Like that is legit. Like the foundation of fucking life. If you really go back in your lifetime, you will realize that every single moment in your life, that is what you're trying to do. You are trying to figure it the fuck out. When it comes to our business, how we built it, every single step of the fucking way that we've gotten to the point that we are is because we've tried to figure it the fuck out. And this business right here, this business has pushed us to figure it the fuck out every step of the way, from not only dealing here, but from dealing in places like out all the way in fucking Europe. Like, yeah, every single time we've had to figure it the fuck out. So therefore, that has become the mantra of our business. In the beginning, we used to always say, tabaco, ron, cultura. That was the very beginning. We always used to say that. And the idea behind that was, tabaco, ron, cultura was, even though it really means tabaco as in obviously tobacco, ron as in rum, and then cultura as in culture, what that meant was, it was like a combination of three things: fucking cigars, drinking, and culture. And what we meant by culture is whatever fucking culture we're in, we are going like deep into that culture, and we're gonna enjoy whatever it is we're doing. Whether we are at a cigar heritage cigar festival in Tampa, or we are at a fucking biker type of event, what's that shit called?
Boogerville?
Boogerville, something like that. Yeah.
I thought that place was. I thought they were joking when they said that name.
So that's what we meant by that. But when it comes to Fitfo, Fitfo comes from one of my buddies, my buddy Zoe, who's currently a command sergeant major in the U.S. Army. Man, every time I used to come to the next issue trying to figure the next thing out, he's like, bro, you got a Fitfo. You got a Fitfo. So immediately I was like, you know what? I'm going to start fucking using that. And at the time, we created some T-shirts, and people loved it because they really identified with the Fitfo process. Like, that's what life is about. You're always trying to Fitfo.
Speaking to that, what let's just say I want to go start my own cigar brand tomorrow. What's one piece of advice that kind of you could give to somebody that maybe blindsided you, that you weren't aware of, that you were like, oh shit, I got to get past this, and I didn't even realize this was going to be a hurdle or an obstacle?
Oh shit. Okay. So if someone wanted to start, you're saying like they wanted to start their own brand?
Yep, just somebody wanted to walk in your footsteps and do what you did. What's one thing that kind of like knocked you back, like, shit, I did not see this coming, and we got to figure this one out?
Yeah, those licenses and permits, you got to fucking know that. Like, licenses, permits, and taxes, those are the fucking first things you better figure out. You better figure those things the fuck out quick, because those things immediately, if you don't have those things, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. Now, does it mean you can't make it happen? I mean, you're still going to be able to make things happen. But if you want to become official as far as a brand and everything, yeah, you definitely want to take the time to get those licenses and permits, get your, whether if you're going to be a retail tobacco, you're going to need a retail tobacco license. Like if you want to get your cigar inside of a location so they can sell um your cigars, like, or if you want to sell cigars directly to people at events, retail tobacco license. So yeah, license, permits, and taxes. Those those are the first things that you should want to know.
I feel like we get that same answer when we ask that same question to whiskey brands. Seems like
Now, I'll give away a few things that a lot of people don't know, and I realized that I told you in the beginning, this industry, I came to find out that it was very protective over their secrets, which I get it. Listen, I've learned over the last, what year are we in? 7 years. I've learned over the last 7 years that as much as we put into the fucking grind, it almost makes sense to be very protective over those secrets. But I tend to be more of an open book because I have never been afraid of competition. I've never even looked at it that way. I always look at it like, yo, we can all eat. Let's all fucking eat together. You know what I mean? Let's all sit at the fucking table. Let's grind together. Let's eat together. Your process is not the same as my process. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, I will say that if it comes a moment that you are able to get your hands on cigars and say, okay, I want to go, I want to look for a cigar that I can slap my band on and start selling. I will say, take the time to really learn those cigars and understand whether those cigars are truly good or not, because sometimes when you're impulsive, you might just go with the fact that you have a cigar in your hand and you want to sell it. But what you should be doing is maybe using your circle or your closest friends that already smoke cigars and say, let me purchase X amount of cigars and let me get them out to my friends. You're gonna have to fucking give them away, because that's just the name of the game. You gotta give them away so people can try, and they can let you know whether that cigar is good, or they're gonna, and if they're good friends, they're gonna let you know, like, I don't know about that cigar, bro. I didn't really enjoy it, and that's what you want to know from people, so that's just another thing that I'm willing to give away in this moment. I'll probably give away a bunch of shit because I like that, but whatever
keep
you
drinking.
ask me, I'll probably give it away.
Yeah, keep drinking. We'll get some more out of you.
Yeah, I'm down.
So a
Especially
quick
right now, because look, I'm drinking this rye. And now, because the wife made this michelada, I got no choice to go back and fucking forth, which that's a no go. But I have no choice right now.
just a quick little tangent before we continue. Cam Little, the Jacksonville Jaguars kicker, is now officially has the record for the longest field goal in NFL history. He just kicked a 68 fucking yarder. He said he figured it the fuck out from preseason and decided, fuck it, I'm going to kick it in regular season and actually get a real record. I had to double.
What a fucking sniper! Like, dude, from that, I get mind boggled when I see kickers kick it from like super far distance. I'm like, bro, that's like one object, and they gotta fucking like kick this thing, and it's gotta go directly in that fucking direction and be so like, I give it to them, man. They fucking, obviously Atlanta's not feeling the same way right now. They're like, fuck this dude, man.
Yeah, when you're kicking from closer distances, you got a little bit of leeway if you comes off the foot the wrong way.
More of a
But
chip
when you're that
shot,
far away, you got minimal mess up there. But yeah, that's a little quick. I looked up and saw it, and I was like, is that a rerun from the preseason. I looked down at my phone and yep, 68, which is funny because the Jags punter has punted twice and has 73 yards in punts. So he's got what 5 more yards in punts than the kicker has in field goals.
Holy shit!
Maybe they need to just start snapping it to a holder for the punt and letting Cam Little fucking punt.
Oh my god!
But so if you were to pick one of the cigars in your lineup out for a beginner cigar smoker, which one would it be?
That honestly depends on the person, right? Because I normally, if you are completely new to the cigar game, right, I tell people 2 things. Number 1, hey, we have a Dolce Dama in our lineup, which is a sweet cap cigar. It's a Connecticut cigar. It's a good cigar for people to start out with. But let's suppose you're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do a sweet cap, blah, blah, blah. My next advice, I'm telling you right now, this is fucking gold. Dude, if you are a cigar smoker that, or if you're somebody that wants to dive into cigar smoking and you want to be able to fucking get through the first cigar without fucking it being too much for you, have a fucking drink. Have a drink in your hand, because you know what? Let's suppose you're not used to those tastes. Let's suppose that you got a cigar that's a little too strong for what you were even prepared for. If you take puffs and then you turn around, you take sips of whatever the fuck you're drinking, boom, everything balances back out. You know, I just realized I keep looking the wrong fucking way. Like, fuck. The cameras, I keep looking over here because my dumb ass keeps looking to where I'm at in this, and I should be looking over. All right, now I fuck it. Let me know because I can't see my eyes. Are my eyes locked into the camera?
Yep. No,
You're good. It don't matter.
Okay, now I know. Look over there. All right, probably where the little light is. But yeah, I would say have a fucking drink in your hand. If you're a new person, definitely have a fucking. But I don't drink alcohol. But then fucking have a Pepsi in your hand. I don't fucking know. Whatever the fuck you want. If milk is your fucking choice of drink, then fucking have a glass of milk in your fucking hand. You know what I mean? And it'll make that first experience much more enjoyable for you.
Underrated soda. It does go pretty well with cigars for the most part.
My son was the first one to tell me about this. He was like, Dad, have you ever had a cream soda with a cigar? And I was like, no. He's like, you gotta do it. So I did it, and I was like, holy shit, bro, cream soda. So when you said butterbeer, I was like, holy shit, butterbeer's gotta be such a fucking hit with a cigar, dude.
Yeah, that cream soda, the root beer, Dr. Pepper, they all have like more or less. It's they're some fire pairings there.
And go ahead.
Dr. Pepper cream soda with a cigar is pretty damn good.
Here's a good one that a lot of people don't know, especially if you're not Puerto Rican, you didn't grow up in that culture. There's a soda that we drink in Puerto Rico called a cola. We call it cola champagne, but what it is cola champagne. No, it's not alcohol. It's legit a soda. But let me tell you, to me, that is like a fucking cream soda on crack. Like, it tastes so goddamn good. Like, it is a fucking great soda.
Champagne. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, dude, you know what? If I ever meet up with you guys, I'm going to make sure, I say if I ever. When I meet up with you guys next time, I'm going to make sure I bring some cola champagnes for you guys. I'll bring a fucking cooler, make sure them shits are nice and cold so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about.
I wonder, I'm looking at it right now. There's the brand Goya makes one.
Yeah.
And I know
that would be a good one. India, I like to go with the one with India, but either way, it has a similar profile.
Well, I know that my supermarket sells the Goya. I know there's a yellow one and there's the Mandarin one. I'm wondering if No. But I wonder if they have this one, is what I'm saying, because I've seen those on the shelf and I don't pay attention to them, because it's in like, they put it in the aisle, like away from the sodas, but you just have to catch it when you're walking by. I wonder, I'll check next time.
That's the exact aisle. That's the exact aisle that you will get it from. Now, check this out. They have the 2-liter bottles. I don't really fuck with the 2-liter bottles of that shit because I feel like, I don't know, it doesn't taste the same for me. The cans is what tastes exactly the way I want it to taste with
Gotcha.
that shit.
Yeah, I'll look out for them.
No. All right, you guys want to get into this 10th Mountain Rye real quick?
Oh yeah, I already
Get it?
jumping the gun.
Yeah, I'm sipping on it occasionally here.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this on the show before. This is a fantastic rye. Jerry, you got details on it? I have the bottle right
Yeah.
here, but this was.
I got mine on the rocks.
There you go.
I probably should have straight.
Nah, it's so this is a 10th Mountain Rye whiskey. This one's coming in at 2 years old at 115 proof. This is a single barrel selected by the Sipp Society. It's a small little group on Instagram. I helped select this one with what was it, 5 of us, and then 5 or 6 of us, and then Brian Dewar he's the military distribution manager, something like, I don't know. He does something with distribution and going to different bases and trying to get the his products on base through the exchanges and whatever different brands call it, or different branches call their stores. So we had him on.
Like the AFEs and all that shit. The
PX, the exchanges, PXs.
It's usually the class 6 that sells the alcohol.
Yeah, whatever. I know each branch calls it something different, but he's the one trying to get into those stores. So we were on there with him. It's, like I said, 2 years. I think it was about $85, but it's a 69% rye, 27% corn, and 4% malted barley. And when I say, Brian said that he's going to send some samples. This motherfucker sent 9 samples. We drank through 9 samples to figure this fucking shit. And what they do is they basically have a batch. They distill and have a batch of their rye, and then they keep one at cask strength. They proof one down to 96 proof is, I think, their standard offering. And then they also proof one down to 100 or 110, I think, in the barrels, and watch them age as they do that. So we tried 3 different basically batches at 3 different proofs for a total of 9 samples. We were not sober by the end of this, but I'm pretty sure we picked a fantastic barrel. I've liked this one. I picked up a shit ton of them. I think I've said it. Yeah. So, for me on the nose, there is a little bit of youthfulness. Like I said, it is 2 years, but that dissipates real quick. A lot of caramel and cherry notes, a little bit of chocolate, and I also get a little bit of like a floral, like fresh flowers on it. It's weird. When I say floral, it usually you get that standard like rye floral, but this one actually like that running through the flower like garden, just like running through it. That's what it smelled like. So what'd you guys?
I get like that floral for me is like a honeysuckle, which is nice on the nose. On the palate, which I'm about to pour my last pour, I'm gonna bottle kill this bottle. Unfortunately, it's sad to see it go, but I had 2 pours left for this show. So on the palate, I get a lot of there's sweet notes for it being a rye, but I get mint. I pick out mint.
Yeah.
And the mint with this cigar, it goes perfect. It's like an Andes candy, like those chocolate with the mint in the middle, and then chocolate and little,
Oh, nice.
When I take a sip of this, take a pull on the cigar, and then take another sip right after, it's like an Andes candy. It's fantastic. It's a perfect pairing because it gets some darker notes from the cigar and this mint. There's a little hint of like bacon, spice, or cinnamon in there too, so it plays well with the cigar. So this is a very good pairing. The best one yet, because like I said, I started out with a knob 12 and then went to the Taconic barrel strength. Those were good. They definitely were, sweeter. But this one with the mint and the herbalness of this rye is my favorite pairing so far out of the three with this cigar. So it's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like I get some of the same that those honey notes when I smell it and everything. Now I don't know if it's because I'm smoking the Charlie Mike, right? So when I first sip on this, it feels like we're somewhere in the 90s, when it comes to the proof. However, when I smoke the Charlie Mike, I feel like the spices kind of elevate a
Yeah.
little, and it brings it up into those low hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this cigar definitely brings out some spicy notes from it, from the whiskey. So the overall tasting notes, when basically all of us that picked it, we kind of threw our notes in. The nose was dark caramel, floral, orange peel, faint dill, wheat or hayfield, farm tobacco, velvet, light smokes and tobacco. The palate was rye bread, cherry or plum, white pepper, tobacco, cocoa, hints of grain, maraschino cherries, orange zest, and the finish was rye spices, slight anise, a bitter chocolate nutty note, almost like mocha, more orange zest, and more tobacco. So that was like like I said, there was like 6 or so of us on there. That was all of us putting our notes together. And I don't remember how long after we picked it got dumped. But I'm still getting about the same notes. Little like that. I remember that bitter chocolate nutty note was my note. It's not like in a bad way. It's just like you're eating. What would that be like walnuts or something like that? It has like a little bit of like that tannic note to it, not in a bad way, but just it's there. It's but then I get a little bit of like baking spices with it, and like you said, with the cigar, it ramps up those spices and it changes this pour a lot, and it's makes it better, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's a very good pairing. 2 veteran-owned companies. It's
well, 10th Mountain isn't veteran owned; they're just
right. Yeah, they're the brand out there that supports veteran charities.
But we recognize 10th Mountain, so we appreciate the love and everything they're doing. This is and it's great. It tastes super. Dude, I gotta turn these lights on. Give me a second. It's starting to get dark on this side. Give me a second.
Yeah, as he's turning on his lights. So they're not 10th Mountain's not veteran owned, but most of their employees, I want to say, are veterans.
Yeah, the amount of charities that they support,
and then they support all the charities. And on the back of every bottle, they have their little general government surgeons warning bullshit that they got to put on it. But they also put what charities that they support. So for this bottle, they supported the Vail Veterans Programs and War Angel concerts. So they do a lot with charities and veterans charities. Obviously, 10th Mountain is an homage to the old 10th Mountain Regiment, who I believe is now in New York, but they used to be out in Vail, Colorado.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's cool to know. Yeah. I definitely know a couple of 10th Mountain guys, super dope guys and stuff like that. So shout out to all those guys that served in the 10th Mountain Division. Yeah,
I think it was Brian that was saying, telling a story that he was at one. Which one? I think Vail is right outside a ski resort. They got 2 locations. One of them's right outside a ski resort, and he was working in the tasting room there. And some guys came in. Apparently, they were in the 10th Mountain Regiment and saw the name, and they were like, "What the fuck is this?" And they walked in and started drinking the whiskey and started talking with Brian. And I guess one of them had their patch with them, and basically gave them the patch to put up on the wall or something along those lines. So it was cool because they weren't from Colorado. They were skiing, and they saw this little 10th Mountain thing, and they're like, "Hey, that's us." And they walked over there, had some whiskey, and ended up. Brian is a 10th Mountain's Army. Brian is a Marine vet, so they started talking, and he's like, "I'm a Marine," and they're like, "Ah, fuck you." Basically. But
this is Brian
Dewar. Which have you heard of Dewar Scotch?
Yes.
So his family, he's from that family. So
I need to get Brian one of our cigars, because one of our cigars, I don't have it out here right now, but man, I thought this lighting was going to be much better.
yeah, no worries.
I guess it's not that great. But one of our cigars is our Since 1775 cigar, which is dedicated for Marines. It was in honor of my cousin who he retired as a sergeant major from the Marine Corps. So I wanted to make a cigar that was dedicated to Marines because of him. And so it's definitely one of the Marines' favorites, the Since 1775 cigar. And that is in a Sumatra wrapper. So definitely a great cigar for Marines. So maybe we can get Brian one of those Since 1775 cigars.
Yeah, we could talk after this or eventually down the road and
For sure.
get Brian something. He's a great dude. Like I said, he sent us 9 samples to figure this whiskey out, and usually barrel picks you get 3. If you get lucky, 5 samples or 5 barrels. He sent 9. So
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was fun. Luckily, I didn't have to work the next day.
Yeah.
So, I also sent out, excuse me, some beard oil to Paul and Adam, and then I met up with Carlos, gave him some oil. It's from a brand called Bearded. That is all. You can find them at beardedusa.com. Another veteran owned and family ran business, their father and son. The father, Mark, is an Air Force veteran. He joined in 88, served for 6 years, got out, and then 9/11 happened, and then like 7 years later in 2008, he decided, fuck it, I'm joining again. So he re-enlisted in 2008, got out, basically had your motto, he had to figure it the fuck out, and they decided to start a beard grooming company. And when he was in, he was a A10 Warthog fuel systems tech. So that's kind of cool. Those fucking planes are awesome.
Absolutely.
And he was working on those. They're based out of Arkansas, and they partner with Mission 22. So those that don't know, Mission 22 is a nonprofit focusing on ending veteran suicide. They say that 22 veterans a day off themselves, and they're trying to stop that, which is something that we definitely have to stop and try to help out. So they do that. They donate $1 from every order, and I picked up 2 cents the Brass and Bourbon, which is bourbon, vanilla, black cherry, tobacco, and aged brass, and then the Final Flight, which is bourbon, cigar, charred wood and smoke, brown sugar and roasted marshmallow, and sandalwood and musk. I've really enjoyed these. The ingredients are all cold pressed oils. You got jojoba, argan, meadow foam, apricot, and castor, along with their fragrance and vitamin E. And the fragrance is all 100% natural. I've really enjoyed these. The Final Flight was my favorite, with the cigar and bourbon pairing. That it says cigar, but honestly, it reminded me more of like not fresh, but tobacco leaves hanging in a barn or something like that.
Yeah.
Like walking around a barn of tobacco leaves with a whiskey in your hand, with a little bit of like sweetness in there and a little bit of musk. But that one I enjoyed a lot. What do you guys think about them?
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, first, speaking of Fitfo, see, I have this lighting issue, and I know I have my fucking watch on, so I'm about to...
There we go. Look at that.
Yeah, there we go. A little better. Damn, that shit is bright. I never knew how bright that fucking light was. So, yeah, Final Flight, that's the exact beard oil that I currently have on. I love it. It's a great smell. I tend to judge these oils not necessarily by the smell that I get from the bottle, but after I put it on, unless of course it's like I really don't want it. So, but with this one, I immediately like smelled it. I was like, all right, let me see what this really smells like. So I put it on the beard, boom, 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 and of course, the real person that's gonna check out in this shit, and I gotta get my wife to come over here and be like, oh yeah, you know what? I like the smell of that. Then I'm like, okay, now I know it's fucking super golden. So yeah, I like the smell of it. Great smell immediately, not overpowering, not underpowering. Like I can smell it in a subtle way, which to me, that's that should be the goal of anybody doing putting scents in these type of beard oils. It should not be to be an overpowering smell. It should be a nice subtle odor that's coming from, I don't know what the fucking correct word to use. I don't know if it's odor, smell. I feel like those are all negative words. Aroma. There
you go.
A nice fucking aroma. So yeah, it's definitely good. Man, this fucking light on this watch is insane. I like right now. I just looked at it and I just see 2 white lights like right now as I'm looking at you guys.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't. I knew we did the time change today, but I wasn't thinking that it's gonna get dark early today. So I'm sitting out here. I'm like, oh, it's dark.
I thought I was good and ready.
Maybe. Well, why he figures it the fuck out.
Am I here?
There you go.
Yeah.
Testing.
Yeah, you're good. You went black. You went all black for a minute, all dark for a minute, but you're back. Yeah, well, I'm also wearing.
Yeah?
Yep, we can hear you. You're there.
What just happened?
Can you hear us?
What the hell just happened here?
Can you hear us?
Freeze?
You went.
Oh, you guys can see me?
Yeah, we can hear and see you.
You went all black for like 3 seconds.
I can't hear you. What the hell just happened? All right.
You there?
I don't know what just happened. Everybody froze on me, except. Hold on.
Can you hear us now?
What the fuck just happened? Give me a quick second.
While he's jumping out and jumping back in, I'm wearing the final flight right now. That's what I have in. You back? Can you hear us?
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Yeah,
I have no idea what just happened.
You went all black screen for about 3 seconds, and then you came back, and we could hear you and see you, but I don't think you could hear us.
Yeah, no, it's just like I don't know what I don't know what the hell happened there.
That's all good.
What was the last thing I said?
You finished up, and you were talking about how you like the aroma of the. We heard you all the way through until all of a sudden you just dropped, but I think you were pretty much.
I don't know what the fuck happened, but yeah,
damn aliens.
But yeah, overall, I definitely love the aroma of this beard oil.
Yeah, that's the same one that I put on in my beard today, and I really like this Final Flight. The scent, I mean, it's great. It goes really well with I saw the note of Cuban cigar, so I figured, well, today if we're going to be smoking cigars and talking about this oil, I might as well use this one today. And it's nice. I mean, I don't know that I get any brown sugar or roasted marshmallow out of it, which is one of the notes, but
there's definitely some kind of sweetness in there, though.
There's a sweetness. There's a, it's kind of vanilla muskiness to it. I really like the scent. The brass and bourbon, I really like that one too. That one was more of a musky scent to me, and they don't mention that in their scent profile, but I really like both scents. I like the oil. The oil is a thinner oil. That's what I like, is a thinner oil. The prices are great. $20 for a 1 ounce oil, $22 for a butter. It's a 2 ounce butter, and they have a bundle deal for $35. You get a butter and an oil. Like Jerry said, that $1 from each order goes to Mission 22. They also partner with GovX, and so if you have a GovX account, you can get 20% off each order, which is a pretty decent discount for having a GovX account. So I really like these oils. Great, great names to them. I like their their website, their branding, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was not aware of this company until Jerry sent these samples out, but I am now, and I'm really a fan of them. So,
Yeah.
Not kind of going back to what you guys were just talking about Mission 22. I can only hope that that as a veteran-owned company, that I am able to somehow impact other veterans out there, because I understand what it's like when you're trying to fit full, and you miss the camaraderie. You miss everything about the fact of when you were in the military, and how it made you feel, and then you come to this outside and you're like, man, I don't have any of that anymore. So, as I've jumped on this journey of the Fitful journey and trying to figure things out, and I've been lucky to find something that has made me extremely passionate and given me a purpose. And I can only hope that I continuously help that same mission, to help other veterans to also figure it the fuck out, to say, what, um, like, the military was dope. It was something I did, and I take extreme pride in, but it's also just another chapter in my life. And I want to find another chapter in my life, and this that's what I'm currently on right now, is another chapter in my life. It's just another chapter in the book of my life, and I can only hope that other veterans see this, and become inspired, and to wanting to start whatever journey they may be on, because it doesn't always have to be about business, right? Like, sometimes the journey could be all kinds of things. It can be business, it can be fitness, it can be running, it could be, whatever it may be. Just know that there's something out there, and you just gotta get out there, and get out of the dark zone, and the constantly just in your mind. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we do that. We'll stay in our mind, and we don't want to go explore what else is out there in this world. And there's a lot out there. We just gotta get out there and do it. So I can only hope that I can help inspire.
So I think this is a good little segue to our giveaway, Paul.
Nice.
So we kind of we try to do a giveaway right before we had our little mid-season break back in June or July, but no one really followed the rules. But we are giving away a bottle of this unopened, not this bottle, but an unopened bottle of this 10th Mountain Rye that we've been drinking. We have a 150 or so count Humidor, and then a bundle from Lit Beard Co. It's their Patriots Punch scent profile, which comes with a 1 ounce oil, 2 ounce balm, and a 4 ounce beard wash. So one winner will get all three of those. So I guess this is the official start of that giveaway. We haven't really just talked about a ending, when it's going to end, but I'm thinking November 29th, since we record the 30th.
Hey, throw in one of our 5-packs. In that same giveaway, throw in one of our 5-packs.
There you go.
One of our 5-packs. We'll throw in a variety of our cigars in there, and we'll include it in that giveaway. Super dope what you guys are doing.
Perfect. So not only with the bottle, the Humidor, and the Lit Beard Co., we got we'll figure out whether it's a 5-pack of one, or we'll figure it out once it comes down to it.
I'll do a little variety to give people a little taste of the Charlie Mike's, maybe the number 4, couple of different Monte De León cigars.
Awesome.
So I'm thinking we run this until midnight of the 29th, because which is a Saturday. We record the 30th, which is Sunday, and we'll announce the winner then. Is what I'm thinking. We'll have to talk about this offline to actually figure out the actual details. But this is the start of it, along with the typical liking. We'll put up a post or something. You got to like it. You tag some friends in it. Share it. Follow all of our socials, all that good stuff like you normally do. You'll get one entry from each of those. Each comment with tags, you'll get an entry. Each like, you'll get an entry. You follow us on our socials, get an entry. But the main thing is you got to donate to your favorite military or veteran charity.
Boom.
For every $5 you donate is one entry. So $5, $1, $10, or $5 one entry, $10 two entries, and so on and so forth. You got to send us a screenshot of your confirmation. You can black out all like the personal information. All we got to do is see your name and how much you donated, and we'll get you in there. And I'm thinking, I've been trying to get a hold of Bryce from Silent Hero Cigars. He works with a service dog charity. I'm trying to talk to him because he has a dog from this company, and he knows how much it is to have to pay for this dog and train and everything. So one thing he's trying to do is basically get it paid for one veteran, that all they have to do is go in, get fit for a dog, and they don't have to do anything out of pocket. So I'm trying to verify that actual charity. And if you donate to that one, you'll get double entries. So you donate $5, you get 2 entries, $10, 4 entries, and so on and so forth. So that would be that. But the main thing, even if you don't comment or like or anything, the main thing is donating to your favorite veteran or military charity. That's the one thing that the three of us have always been trying to get out there is, even if we only get one person to donate $5, at least that's something. It's something that helps out. Hopefully, eventually we could get a couple $1,000s donated from people that'll listen or whatnot, but we're just starting out. So even if one person donates $5, you could win all these gifts. Like I said, there'll be a post out, I don't know, sometime this week. We'll figure out a time to put that up. But like I said, donate, follow us, like us, tag people, get them donating, and hopefully we could help some of these veterans out with whatever charity you decide to donate to. And honestly, I know, like I said, this bottle's $85. That Humidor, I don't remember what Adam had. Lip Beard is what, like $40-$50 for that bundle, I think.
$50. I want to say the Humidor was like $150,
something like that.
And one is 5-pack. I mean, you're talking several $100 giveaway
Yeah.
And all you're doing is you're donating to a charity. The money's not coming to us or through us. We get nothing from it. We want to,
we just want to help
promote support. Yeah, promote support.
So, be on the lookout for that actual giveaway post, which like I said, it should be out by the time this episode actually posts. It should be out, so go take a look for it. I'll tag it on, or I'll pin it, or whatever you call it, on the Instagram page, so you just go on there and find it. But yeah, by the time this episode actually gets posted, if you're not listening to us on live, it'll already be out. And like I said, we'll run it through November and pick a winner at the end of November.
Yeah, hopefully we drive some support and we get some people, taking the time, taking a couple bucks here or there. We know it's right before the holidays. That sometimes can be hard to come off of that extra cash right before the holidays, but think about it the other way, where it's right before the holidays is when a lot of the support is needed.
And talking with a lot of veterans that we've had on here, whether it's been Brian or Bryce, and with everyone, the holidays can be the hardest time, especially with if you've lost some people, whether it's in overseas or with this veteran suicide or something. So it's definitely a hard time for people. So I said $5 to any charity, not to us. We don't see any of this. We don't want to see any of this. We just want to see your confirmation. And yeah, we'd love to get these products out to one person. And then, like I said in the past, if we get a a big turnout for this. Maybe I've got a bunch of cigars inside the house that I'll never smoke through because I got too damn many. Maybe I'll throw more of my personal in there, along with the 5-pack that Monte De León is throwing out there. So definitely a great giveaway, at least in my personal opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely. So here's the big question for you: 5 years from now, what are you going to be doing? Where do you see this path evolving to for you?
So for me, so I'll tell you a few things. Number one, I'm gonna address something that people keep asking me, especially if you follow me on our page, Monte De León Cigars. I will tell you that we are not a page like you are accustomed to. So if you go follow Monte De León Cigars, you're gonna realize that I post all kinds of wild shit. Not just I don't just post pictures of my cigars that I'm trying to sell. Matter of fact, that's probably the last thing I do on my page because that is just not who I am as a person. So it makes it real difficult for me to constantly try to sell to people. What I simply do is I post who I am on a personal basis, what I do, and people tend to, I don't know, they tend to rock with that type of behavior of how I am. And a lot of people ask me because they see me constantly posting shit about a lot of things that I do when it comes to being physical, especially when it comes to running. And I've had this question come up a lot on my page where they're like, hey, how is it that you're fucking smoking cigars all the time, but you're always fucking running? Well, that's an easy answer. First of all, I don't inhale cigars. That's number one, right? But staying running is like a way for me to stay engaged in doing like the type of shit that I like to do. Especially coming with that military background, it kind of gives me that feel. Thank you, man. Gracias. Thank you so much. Yo, I got a refill right now. Hey, so doing things like that, constantly chasing little different journeys, whether it be running a marathon, whether it be running an ultra, which right now my son and I are preparing for an ultra coming up in January, which is a 40 miler. These type of things, like, just it keeps us engaged and keeps us, wanting to be just there doing different things, So I want people to know this so they can know that, because you smoke cigars, because you sit back, smoke, drink whiskey, drink rye, drink, beer, doesn't mean you don't have to be, looking out for your health and extending your life. So I would definitely tell people to do that. And then when it comes to the 5 years, something similar. We're constantly talking about traveling and getting out there and doing cool things. Right now, the wife and I, we are legit looking into possibly relocating to Spain, simply because, we lived a couple years overseas because of the military, but now we want to try to do it as civilians on the civilian side and say, you know what, this fucking can be done, and how do you do it? You fucking fit folk. That's how you do it. You gotta look into how these things can be done, and you're like, oh, you know what, a lot of people don't even fathom the thought of sometimes leaving their own town in their lifetime. And sometimes you just gotta look into things and say, you know what, this shit is all possible. So, of course, staying focused on, family first, making sure my kids are doing what they have to do in life. My son's already 26, almost 27 years old. And we just had our first grandson. Our daughter's about to go to college. And, as long as all those things are moving the way they're supposed to be moving, then my wife and I are going to be making that transition in trying to move over to Spain and to just continue to travel and explore and continue growing the brand. Right now our brand is not only here in the US, it's not only in Puerto Rico. Our brand is actually out in the Balkans, with one of my partners, which I met out at the Best Ranger competition, which was another dope event that we got to do. And I met one of my partners out there, and you know, he was able to take the Monte De León Cigars brand over to Kosovo, and now the brand is going all through the Balkans, which is something I never even imagined happening. So yeah, just you know, continuing to grow the brand, continuing to explore, continuing to live life, and just you know, do just do dope shit, man. Just get out here, live life, and do dope shit, man. That's all our future plans is about, you know, right now. You know, living
Yeah,
life.
that's awesome. No, we're fans of the brand, and you guys are kicking ass, and we're definitely excited for what's to come.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys having me here today, man. This was a great setting. As you guys saw, this shit started in a super bright day.
Oh,
Now
it's dark as hell
it's
now.
black, and you're probably asking yourself, how the fuck did you all of a sudden get lighting? That's thanks to my beautiful wife over there who made that shit happen, along with she kept the drinks coming. So I'm super grateful for everything.
That's awesome.
So, what has been the biggest challenge in launching the brand and growing it?
You know what? The fitfo aspect. Yeah, the same thing. You know what I mean? Figuring it the fuck out, and willing to get through the white waters, right? If you've ever gone out to the waters and surfed or anything like that, you'll realize that sometimes you got to be willing to take a few hits through those white waters until you finally get over that shit, and you'll realize that things are calm on the other side. But now it becomes the journey of trying to fucking ride a wave in. So um there has been many, you know, challenges along the way in this business, but you know, I'm grateful to have, you know, someone like my wife as my partner that just been helping me, you know, figure these things out along the way. So um, but to point at any specific thing, it's, you know, going back to what we said in the beginning. You said what is something I would advise people? Well, you know what? Learn about licenses, permits, and taxes. Like that's the first fucking thing you got to figure out, and then you know, when it comes to figuring out your target audience, I think I'm gonna be honest with you. Target audiences, that shit happens organically. Like, I don't think there's ever a such thing as you actually saying, "Oh, I'm gonna target this audience right here." I think your target audience just happens naturally, and you just have to let it be, because when you become too obsessed over focusing on your target audience, well, there's a good chance you might not win, and then what? You're gonna fucking give up because you weren't able to sell to your target audience.
Mm.
So don't get infatuated with target audiences. Just let that shit happen naturally.
Yeah, target audiences with like you can do it with whiskey with like the flavored whiskeys and the like the cinnamon whiskeys, stuff like that. But if you're putting out like this 10th Mountain Rye or the bourbon or like your cigars, like you might have an idea of who this is going out to, but at the same time, everyone's palate's different. So what I like might not be what you like or what Paul likes, and vice versa. Which we say that, but on this show, majority of the time, me, Paul, and Adam have more or less the same profile, like palate profile.
Yes.
There's a couple things that me and Paul like that Adam can't, and that Adam and Paul like that I don't. But for the majority, which honestly I don't know how that happened, like the three of us have more or less the same palate, which works for a show because it's like, hey, let's smoke these Charlie Mikes, which is a San Andreas wrapper with some Nicaraguan fillers and whatnot, and that's exactly what we really like. But at the same time, it's just like, well, it'd be nice to have someone that didn't like Nicaraguan tobacco so we could get their side on it. But it works for us because we smoke fantastic cigars every week for the most part.
Uh,
So, and then same thing with whiskey is you have a target audience, and like this 10th Mountain Rye and then this Starlight Rye are two completely
so
different profiles.
and the reality when it comes to the target audience, right? Like let's go with 10th Mountain whiskey, right? what are you gonna do? You're gonna focus only on folks that served in the 10th Mountain. Then what happens if out of those folks you deal with it, only 10 of them drink whiskey? You know what I mean? So it's a great way to expand, because now not only do you have folks who never served in the 10th Mountain Division, but you have folks that you're able to teach that, hey, this is one of the divisions in the United States Army. You know what I mean? So it's a great way, and that's how it happened to me. I feel like that's how it happens organically, and I feel like that's the best way to go about and not become overly obsessed with a target audience.
Yeah, one of the things I've noticed doing the show is a lot of whether it's cigars or beard products or whiskeys, the owners are putting out what they like. Like, they know someone else is going to be out there and they're going to smoke the same cigars you like, or use the same oils that you like, or drink the same whiskey you like. They're putting it out for what they like, and someone's going to be there and find it.
Dude,
which I think is one of the biggest thing. Like, stop trying to find the niche, or like the stop trying to find the cool in thing. Do what you want to do, and you'll find the people.
What a perfect thing to say, by the way. Do the shit you like. Yeah, dude, all our cigars. Matter of fact, I'm kind of harassed by the wife because she says that I'm not buying by Biggie Smalls fucking 10 crack commandments because I continuously get high on my own fucking supply. But I'm like, right, bro, I love our cigars. I don't know what to fucking tell you. I love my cigars. And that's the shit. You have to love your own fucking, you have to love your own shit. And when people see that you love your own shit, they naturally are like, fuck, you look like you're really fucking enjoying that thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not just trying to fucking sell it. I actually love it, you know?
Yeah, I can't remember which show I was watching on YouTube, or which cigar brand they had on. Yeah, I can't remember anything, but I do remember the cigar brand owner saying that when they got their shipment of the tobacco in, or the cigars in and the boxes in, they figured either A, they were going to sell a couple thousand boxes of cigars, or B, they're going to smoke through a couple thousand boxes of cigars because it's what they like. Facts. And either way, they're going to be happy. I wish I remembered who it was, because they were just like, yeah, one way or the other, these are going to get smoked and I'm going to be happy.
I like that, man. I'm going to fucking use that. That's a good one. I do like that. That is a great concept.
Do you remember your first cigar you've ever smoked?
You know, I'm trying to think. I don't even want to say a name because it was a shitty experience, but I remember the first experience. Like, what the fuck is this, bro? So it took me, and I also didn't know a lot. You know what I mean? I did the same thing a lot of people do. Inhale this shit. Fuck! I just feel like I just pulled straight from a fucking Harley exhaust. Like, what the fuck just happened here? So, you know, it was a crazy experience, but I continuously tried. And then I started finding out that there was levels to this. I started to find out there was the pairings with the drinks and everything like that. So I think, like many people, when I started to figure out what my palate was, I might have started with like those sweet cap cigars, right? But then after a while that I developed my palate, it was insane. Like, don't even come to me with a fucking super sweet cigar today. Oh my God, like nausea will kick in. Like, I can't deal with that shit. But that's only because that's me and that's my palate. That doesn't mean I'm knocking it, because I understand that you have to kind of work your way through the process and everything like that to understand how your palate is and to develop it. So, but I don't know. I really don't remember. I can tell you the first cigar lounge I ever experienced, I don't know the name of it, but it was in Chicago where my army, a buddy of mine who was in the army, and we went there. And then my second cigar lounge experience was over in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which was a cigar lounge called Hanstead's, and let me tell you, they have the cigar lounge. What a cigar lounge is supposed to feel like, they haven't figured the fuck out, because their shit is like, it's a great atmosphere for a cigar lounge. You have everything from great drinks, a great selection, good music, live performances. Simple, right? I'm not talking about like an all-out fucking concert. I'm talking about a guy on a fucking trumpet, or I don't know, a fucking ukulele or something. But you know, it very fucking simple, and it works, and it's great. Um, you also got to be careful with the vibes, right? 'Cause I'll tell you, I made the mistake. When you're feeling so great, when you're in such a great atmosphere, and you're having great conversations, because that's what a good cigar lounge does. It creates great atmosphere, and it picks your energy up to a fucking level that somebody thinks you just fucking down the fucking 8 ball or something like that. But when I was at a cigar lounge once, I was having such a great conversation with this older gentleman, man. I remember I was like, you know what? Don't worry about that drink. I'm gonna go get you another. And so I went up to the bar and I was like, hey, let me get a drink for my wife tonight. And that gentleman over there, whatever the fuck he's drinking, give him another one. And I should have listened to the bartender, because the bartender told me, are you sure? And I was like, I don't even know why the fuck you're asking me if I'm sure. Absolutely, I'm fucking sure. Give him whatever he's having. Only to come to find out that this motherfucker, whatever he was drinking, cost $120 for that fucking drink. I was like, what the fuck is this dude drinking, bro? Like, what the fuck? When I saw that bill, I was like, whoa, I think you made a mistake here. Look at this receipt. She was like, no, that was his drink. I'm like, oh, hell no. So now I know next time, be a little more careful with how good the vibe is.
That's
So-
great.
That was going to be my next question. When you're grabbing, whether it's one of your cigars or someone else's, and you're sitting on your back patio or something, what kind of vibe are you looking for? You listen to music, podcasts, just in silence? What do you typically hanging out doing?
That I guess that totally depends on what is going on in my mind. You know, sometimes it'll be a podcast. Sometimes I'll sit back and just chill and listen to a podcast. Sometimes it'll be music, right? Sometimes it won't be regular music. Sometimes I might tune in to somebody, a DJ that has something going on, and he does a whole mix, and I'm just wanting to vibe out to this old school hip hop. And I don't just listen to hip hop, I listen to all kinds of music, you know what I mean? So it just totally depends on what is going. And sometimes it's that my buddy is all the way in Vicenza, Italy, who he's currently a command sergeant major, and he might want to hit me up, and we'll be vibe out and just talk shit as I sit back, smoke cigars, as we're communicating through FaceTime or whatever the fuck it is on WhatsApp and all that shit, and so the vibe really switches every time, and sometimes it might just be my fucking dog, just my buddy Kong, the Belgian Malinois. I just might let him chill and hang out around the yard doing his whatever the fuck crazy thing he's doing, as I just sit back and watch him and smoke cigars, and occasionally just throw the ball and see him lose his fucking mind as he's fucking tearing my foundation apart just to get that ball. So it switches up every time, though.
This is going to be a two-part question. What's your favorite cigar in your portfolio, and then your favorite cigar that's not a Monte De León?
Oh, wow. So in my portfolio, once again, and I've been asked this question many times, especially when we're at events. They're like, what's your favorite cigar? And I'm like, it just depends. It just depends what is going on. Like, to me, in this moment, this Charlie Mike was the fucking greatest shit ever, because of the vibe we have going on with everything. But sometimes it might be my box press number 4, which comes with a Cameroon wrapper, because it's a great mild to medium smoke, and it just hits every single time. So it switches up. We have Lanceros, which are Connecticut Lanceros. We have Even the sweet cap. I was telling you earlier about the sweet cap, which I normally don't fuck with the sweet cigars. However, I've learned that our sweet cap, our Dolce Dama, is a great cigar to have early in the morning, right? If I'm not getting ready to go for a run, I might sit back with that Dolce Dama, like today on a Sunday morning, right? I typically don't run today, so I'll have the Dolce Dama with a black coffee with no sugar in that coffee because, again, it's already a sweet cap, so there's no need to add sweet to sweet because it creates a bad it doesn't balance out right from it. So, it changes from time to time when it comes to my lineup. I will say that I am pretty infatuated with my cigars. What do I mean by that? 99% of the time, I am smoking my cigars everywhere I go. However, I do have cigar etiquette. So that means if I go to a cigar lounge, I don't show up with my cigars and say, fuck your cigars. I'm only. That's crazy. By the way, that's another. Hey, I just gave away another fucking free gem right there. If you are someone who are starting your own brand and you show up to cigar lounge and you think you could just smoke your cigars because I'm gonna sell my cigars to them, so I'm only gonna smoke my. No, they're gonna fucking be pissed at you because you're sitting there eating up their space with smoking your cigar. That's pretty selfish. So what I tend to do one of two things. If they're offering drinks at this bar, at this cigar lounge, then obviously I'm buying the drinks to pair with the cigar. But most of the time, I am purchasing one of the cigars that they have there, and I might take it and smoke it as my first cigar in that moment, and then I'll switch over to my cigar afterwards because, like I said in the beginning, I'll start off with something like a beer. This is a michelada if you weren't here earlier, and then I'll switch it up to a whiskey rye, something like that, and just so that's pretty much how I go about it. But as far as like a brand goes, I think one of my favorite brands prior to me having my own brand was My Father's Cigars. My Father's Cigars was a go-to cigar for me, and which one specifically? I want to say it was the Judge.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of my go-to cigars in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, My Father's is a good one.
It's a great cigar.
Whether it's a My Father's branded one or one of the Don Pepins or one of the other ones that they put out from their factory that's not branded My Father's, they're great. And that Judge is definitely, I would say, top three of my
That's what I
favorites
tend to look for when I go to a cigar
from
lounge.
their lounge.
That's what I tend to look for. Every time I go to a lounge, I immediately go to My Father. I'm like, you know what? This is a cigar that I would like to smoke. Boom, I smoke it, and then I'll switch over to my cigar afterwards. And
Yeah.
no, I don't fucking take 2 or 3 puffs and then smoke my cigar. That's crazy too. No, I fucking enjoy the whole cigar. I'm telling you, people, I'm not like a fucking egomaniac here. I know some people when they own their own brands, they become egomaniacs. Take off the bands. I don't want people to know I'm smoking. No, I don't do that. I leave the fucking band on. By the way, that shit tends to drive. Maybe it's because I know how much time and energy we put into designing these bands and make them look this fucking great.
Beautiful
So
band.
so when I see fucking people before they even start smoking, bro, I'm giving away something here. But you know what? This is good. When I see people before they even fucking light up their cigar, they rip off the band and I don't even dare to do it because it fucking drives me crazy. But they rip it off, they crunch it up, and they throw it out, and then they go. I'm like, bro, do you know how fucking hard I worked on that fucking band for you to just fucking do that? Like, that is so crazy to me. But again, that's probably me being a little too prideful over
No.
that shit.
Now I got I haven't put it up on the wall yet just because I haven't found a great spot, but I got like it's like a shadow box that has a little hole in the top that I can drop the cigar bands in.
Yes.
So all my cigar bands go in there. And like the Charlie Mike had a double band. It had like the the one you showed with your logo and everything. Then it had the one that said Charlie Mike on it.
Yes, that's.
If I'm smoking a cigar, I might take that lower band off like that. But
you have to. You have to, because
well,
the Charlie
especially
Mike is only so big, so you gotta.
Well, even if it's like this one where it's like a Churchill or whatever size this is, if they had one here, I might take it off. But the band that has the brand and the logo on it, that's staying on until that burn line gets to about here. Then I'll take it off. But I keep all of them, whether it's a good cigar or not. Obviously, I'll if I didn't like the cigar or there was something about the cigar I didn't particularly like, I'd kind of put that to the side and be like, hey, I didn't like this one, but I'm still going to keep it because I think I don't even know how long I've been smoking, but I think there's only been like one, maybe two cigars that like I've got halfway through and I had to put it out just because I couldn't stand it. Like I didn't like it at all. I still kept the band. Whether you like it or not, the bands are awesome. Like
it happened to me at the previous event we were just at. It was funny. Some gentleman, I guess he purchased a cigar. There was a vendor out there and stuff like that, and he grabbed a cigar and he walked over to our table. This motherfucker, I think he took like 2 puffs, and he came up to my table. He was like, "Hey man, how's this cigar right here?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a great cigar." He was like, "Cool. Now, I want to smoke that cigar. How the fuck do I get rid of this one? Because it tastes like shit." And I said, "Bro, just put it down. Just put it down. I got it. I'll take care of it for you." But yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? And I've seen, by the way, cool project ideas. I've seen some people do some cool projects with bands. I have a buddy who's in North Carolina, and he has a lamp, and on the lampshade, he started
That's cool.
Gluing or some shit like that.
Yeah.
All over the lampshade, he has all kinds of bands. Now, a real fucking cool project idea that I seen one dude do that I'm gonna eventually do with my bands is you take a table and you put all the bands down, and then you epoxy. You epoxy all the bands on top, and then it becomes the design of that table. So, cool project idea.
Yeah, I got a I think it's like a serving, I don't know what you call it, a little serving platter or whatever. It's a round serving platter with the handles. I took the handles off. On one side, it had like my last name with the, what do you call that? The ambigram or whatever, like your initial with your name, last name behind it. I started putting all the cigar bands on one side and started epoxying it. And it's becoming like a almost like an infinity barrel head. Like I'll go through and like it's covered right now, and then eventually I'll take a handful out of the little shadow box I have, and then I'll epoxy those on top of whatever's on there. Like it's just I eventually want it to be like that thick of just cigar bands. Like I hate to cover up someone's cigar band, but for the most part, most of them that are on there, I'm going to either I have another cigar or another one from their portfolio, or I'll smoke it again. So eventually it'll make its way back on there. But I want the wood to be about that thick, about an inch thick. And then I want another like half inch or an inch of cigar bands glued on top of that. It's just kind of like a little
nice.
I know you're not going to be able to see what's underneath it, but that's just a thought. It's just like, hey, I've smoked
that's
all
right.
these.
It's not like what do they call that shit? Wars, and graffiti when they tag over somebody's shit. You're all right. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, that's something. Going back to the etiquette, that's something I don't think we've really touched much on here. Is cigar lounge etiquette, which I know most of us know about, but when you go to a lounge, if like Paul flew down here this past summer, we went to JC Newman. We did their tour and everything. We had Bobby Newman on the show. He brought us into the factory. We did the tour and everything. We bought a bunch of cigars from them. And then we went down the street to, what was it? Corona Cigar Bar, I think it was, which is the big cigar.
Yeah.
And there was a cigar me and Paul wanted to smoke that we got from JC Newman. We all bought drinks, and I'm pretty sure we bought multiple drinks. And then I went to I walked around where all like the Humidor, and I picked out a cigar or two, bought some of them. So it's definitely one of those things that I don't think we've talked about, but it's something that definitely needs to be said.
Cigar,
like,
yeah. Cigar etiquette 101 when going to a cigar lounge is an important topic. The amount of people that go to purchase a cigar that do crazy things, you're like, dude, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, why are you sniffing my fucking cigar the way you are? Calm down, guy. Like, what are you? Like, it's so crazy the amount of crazy things that people, they do crazy things, man. They're like, oh, can I use your cutter? Give me a second, as they fucking lick their cigar. I'm like, hey,
slobber on it.
Yeah, you can no longer use our cutter, guy. Like, I don't know, you're gonna have to bite your shit now, because there is no way in hell I'm putting your fucking bacteria over here. I'm like, I don't have enough fucking Lysol for that shit. Like, that's crazy. But it's humans. Humans do weird shit. Like, they're very fucking strange when it comes to stuff like that. I don't know if they do it because they want to appear to look like they know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. It's what they see on shows and movies and stuff.
They immediately grab a cigar and they're like, you're like, bro, what did you just find out? The region that the fucking cigar came from? Like, calm down, guy. Like, what are you trying to fucking, like, it's a little too much, guy. Calm that shit down.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna pick out a cigar from a Humidor, I'll pick it up, and I'm not gonna like crush it in my hands, but I'll kind of like get my fingers and kind of just like feel around just to kind of see.
Yeah, that's all you should be testing. You should be testing.
But I've seen people like actually like
crunch
it, and I'm like,
what about super packed? You're like, oh, this is like way too fucking packed, so therefore it's gonna be a hard fucking pull.
And for the most time, all I'm doing is more or less like a roll in my hand, because you can kind of feel if it's soft or not. But these people are like crushing it, and I'm like, dude,
and you hear it crackling next to you, and then they just put it back. And it's like, you just
you fucked that cigar. It's like, yeah, bro, you just, I don't know, you just like, you just, I don't know why you put that many pounds of pressure on the cigar, guy. Like, it was unnecessary.
That one gets me, and the other one that gets me is when they snub out, like, whether you finish a cigar or you get this way, like you smoke about a third of it or whatever, you're like, I don't like it, and they snub it out and they just like crush it in that ashtray, and it's just like, now you just fucked up the whole vibe and smell in this Humidor or cigar lounge.
We were at an event, and maybe the guy's gonna watch this, hopefully not, but check this out.
Hey, call him out. Hopefully you will.
But listen to what he did. So he grabbed one of our cigars, and there was a lot of cigar vendors. He grabbed one of our cigars, and he started smoking. And then he come back. He was like, "Oh man, that was a little harsh in the beginning. I don't know if I could smoke that." Okay, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, grab, I guess, whatever you want. You can grab one from here, or you can buy over there. And then my cousin that was with me, I guess my cousin stayed watching him. And my cousin was like, look, he's like, I just saw this guy do this 3 times. He went and grabbed a cigar from over there. He took 2 pulls. He was like, oh, and he put the cigar down. Then he went somewhere else, grabbed a different cigar, took 2 pulls. He was like, the fucking guy is not a smoker. But he's like, I don't know what the fuck the guy's looking for, but he's not a cigar smoker. And he's thinking that he's like going to get some fucking cotton candy for some reason. And maybe that's what he's looking for. But yeah, cigar etiquette, doing a video all about cigar etiquette.
I was about to say, that's something that we might have to do.
Is a must. It's just a must, because too many people out there, you'd be surprised how many people go into lounges and do the amount of crazy things when it comes to getting cigars. Here's my favorite one. They show up to your table, they're like, which of these cigars is Cuban? And I'm like, here we go. I'm like, God, my cigars come from Nicaragua, so therefore probably all of them, because most of those fucking people out there are Cubans that brought their shit from Cuba to Nicaragua because of all the shit they were dealing with.
but it's
They're
not
like,
a real
no,
Cuban.
I need shit from Cuba. Well, then you're in the wrong fucking spot, bro, because no one in America has fucking Cuban cigars that are legally sold, bro. Like, that's just a fucking fact.
And
And fun fact, even if you go to fucking Cuba on whatever way you got there, you're not even guaranteed to be getting like exactly what you're fucking looking for.
yeah.
So that whole concept is like ridiculous
Oh,
to me, but
a hot take. This is my take and not the take of the podcast, but Cuban cigars aren't that great. Like there are some good ones, but
I love Monte De León Cigars.
there are some good Cubans out there. But for the most part, I'm looking for a Nicaraguan, whether it's a Maduro or a Habano, and I will smoke those
if they would
every day,
only
all day.
and if they would only realize what we just talked about, right? I just gave away a secret and they don't even know it. If they would realize that the majority of the old school manufacturers and everything that were from Cuba, because they didn't want to deal with the shit they were dealing with the government, ended up moving to Nicaragua because the soil was very similar to what they were dealing with in Cuba, and they just decided to bring their business over to Nicaragua and make the shit happen. So I'm just saying, you're smoking the highest quality of fucking cigars and you don't even know it.
That's another thing is a lot of the like I get there's NDAs and whatnot, but there's some brands that'll say like this Nicaraguan's from Esteli or from here, but there's some brands that are just it's Nicaraguan because we have an NDA, we can't say where it's from, which we get. But if you actually start looking into it, like there's so many that of like seeds that will be like, oh, this is a Nicaraguan from Esteli or from Jalapa that are Cuban seeds. They're Cuban seeds, but they're planted in Nicaragua because they don't want to. They either moved away from there, or their fields over there have been washed away, and they moved over years, and now whether it's these Monte De Leóns or whatever else in Nicaragua that's been planting these tobacco seeds for the last 20, 30 years, they originated in Cuba.
Yeah.
They just, their fields have been washed away, and then don't want to get into politics, but their politics over there might have scared them away. That they're like, we're going to go to Nicaragua, we're going to go to Honduras.
Imagine you having this fucking field, this farm that you've owned in your for generations, and all of a sudden the government comes in and says, "No, this is our shit." Well, then you're gonna be like, "Okay, I'm out, and I can do this somewhere else, and I'm gonna take these skills elsewhere along with my seeds." That's what the majority of them did. You know,
there's a lot that say like
there's
a lot that'll say like Cuban seed Nicaraguan or something like that, and it's just like it's the same seed just grown somewhere else, and
it's the same climate. I mean, it's not like you're talking about a different climate from Cuba to Nicaragua. I mean,
exactly.
It's the same in whiskey, though. You get whiskey noobs that are like, I'm only drinking Kentucky bourbon. That's the only place bourbon is made is Kentucky. There's no such thing as bourbon made outside of Kentucky because of the limestone water and all this bullshit. And every time you hear that, it's like, all right, well, nice to meet you. Conversation over. I'm not.
Yeah.
What was it? We were on a Zoom tasting with I think it was Taconic in New York.
Yeah,
they're on the same aquifer or they get it out of the same aquifer as Kentucky. They're using the same water, except it's up in New York instead of Kentucky. It's the same water.
It's the same water, but also everyone fucking does reverse osmosis on all their water and runs it through filters and stuff. You could make out of fucking puddle water. You can make good fucking whiskey with all the technology they have to clean up their water.
It's crazy when it's crazy we'll get all into those things and become infatuated and that it has to have those names and everything like that. You're like, hey, the amount of fucking people that come to me, hey, I was in London, I spoke in Cuban, and it cost me X crazy amount, and I'm like, okay, like, you know,
and there's
I don't know, I wouldn't do it, but you know, all to you, but they get caught up in all that stuff, and you know, as long as I have a great quality cigar in front of me, and the vibe is right. I always tell people the vibe. You can have dude. You can fucking put a $5,000 cigar in front of me. If the vibe is off, that is gonna be the shittiest cigar you ever fucking smoked in your life, and it's gonna be the biggest waste of money because the vibe was off. The vibe has to, dude. The vibe has to be, um, it has to be almost more important than the actual cigar, because if your vibe is off, your cigar is gonna taste like shit regardless, you know. So you got to make sure that your energy and everything going. Dude, I got the illest fucking mess in front of me. It's been on this camera the whole fucking time. I have such a mess in front of me, dude. Oh my god, dude, my bad. Damn, people are gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck kind of dude?"
I don't want to smoke his cigars. Look how fucking messy this motherfucker
You
is.
look how fucking messy this guy is. Gee. Damn,
No.
man. Damn.
Talking about the whole vibe thing is like, I love sitting down smoking a cigar, taking an hour, 2 hours, however long the cigar. But I have trouble coming out to my back patio and smoking alone. Like when we're doing this show, I will sit here for 5 hours and smoke 3-4 cigars. If like me and Paul do a lot of virtual tastings with whiskeys and whatnot, I'll sit there for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours and smoke a cigar. But coming out here now, if there's football on or if there's a hockey game on or baseball, that's a little different. But coming out here, just like no sports, no tasting or nothing, I sit here and I'm smoking. I'm like, the cigar tastes good, but like I want it to end. Like I'm done smoking it. Like I want to go inside. Like whatever. Like it's all like, and I could have the most expensive cigar. I could have the best tasting cigar I've ever had, and if I'm not in the right mood or whatever, like there's no game on or no music that's hitting right, it's just like fuck this. Like hurry up and I'll fucking smoke it real quick, put it out and go inside. So that's another, like I might smoke 2 cigars a week. Like I know there's a whole thing. Oh, you do a whiskey and cigar podcast, you must smoke and drink whiskey and cigars all the time. Like no, like I might drink like 3-4 times a week, depending on how work and everything else is going. And I might smoke 1, maybe 2 cigars a week. Like it like I'd want to drink and smoke more, but no, like I don't have the time or the vibe's not right. And it's just like, there's been times where, I've been out here and smoking a cigar, got halfway through it and just put it out. And it's one of my favorite cigars. Just put it out. It's just like, nope, like I'm done. Like I just want to just go inside, watch a movie or something like that. And so, and another thing is going back to the whole, you were talking about the price of the guy in London smoking the most expensive cigar. You could have the most expensive cigar in the world, but whether the humidor or your humidor isn't the right way, or you've left it out a little bit long, because I've had cigars, and I know Paul's had cigars where it won't stay lit or it starts unraveling on you, and it pisses me off. Like if the cigar won't stay lit, that's one thing. Like, all right, I'll light it more and more, and it's just like, all right, fuck this. But if it starts unraveling on me, that's just like I know this cigar is good. I smoked it last week, and it was the best cigar ever. But for some reason, whether my humidor was fucked up or I left it outside for too long, it just starts unraveling. It's like, fuck this. Like, I'm done. Like, this was a waste of $20.
I try to make it a thing now. When I know I have an event coming up, I like maybe 2 or 3 weeks prior to that event, I will move cigars from my humidor over to my dry box, and I'll let them sit in those humidors to let them kind of dry out a little bit in order to create a cigar that you're able to spark up a little faster versus being a cigar that's, you know, a little too on the moist side or anything like that. So that's become the process here.
Yeah.
And I just gave away another fucking dude.
I was gonna say
I should be charging these fucking people.
I was gonna say that's something that me and you, like, we're in Florida. It's humid 90% of the time. Granted, right this time of year it's not, but there's times where I'll pull it out of my humidor, and I know my humidor is set at, well, I have it inside, and I typically have like, I don't have like the wooden humidors, whatever. I got like the plastic fake Pelican cases from
Yeah.
Harbor Freight, which work fantastic and they're easy to
Absolutely.
store. But I'll pull it out and I'll come outside and it's 95 degrees at 100% humidity and the thing doesn't want to fucking work with me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've had the same issue. And I'm sure Paul.
Absolutely. I've had all kinds of things happen. You know, if it's fucking raining outside, if I'm at an event where it's fucking windy, that creates a fucking headache. So it's almost like everything has to be just right, where there can't be too much wind, too much rain, too much humidity, and you just gotta fucking hope for the best when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah,
It's definitely that. What's that noise?
I would say during the summer season when it. Is that me?
I think so. Is it me too?
It's probably you.
No, hold on.
You're lagging.
My phone said I'm at 5% right now, so it's.
Oh.
Yeah, he was lagging a little bit. I think it might have been his connection.
Yeah, and he said he was at 5%. I don't know. We'll give it a minute or two, see if he pops back on. But yeah, during the rainy season, there's times where I'll be out here and it's hot as hell during the summer. With it raining, I got my little fan over here and it's blowing on me, and I'm trying to keep it away from the mic so you don't pick it up, but it blows out the embers, or it's raining and it's the cigar's too humidified, whatever, and it's a great cigar. And so yeah, there's for me it's more about the vibe and the experience of the cigar versus the actual cigar itself, because I've had what are they, the factory smokes or the throwouts that are what, $5 a cigar, $3 a cigar.
Sometimes not even, sometimes
if that,
$3.
That tastes better than some of these $15-$20 cigars just because of the experience. So,
I agree. It's not like you were saying earlier. It's not often that, maybe a handful of times that I've had a cigar that I just did not like, where I just have to like, it's usually the experience and the cigar itself, whether it wasn't kept properly or it wasn't, just construction was messed up or something. Like if I have to light it every single time, burn line goes crazy canoe, and it's just every time I'm touching things up, and it becomes a chore, and then you're unraveling and falling apart in your mouth, and it's just like those are the ones that I'll just be like, yep, I'm moving on to the next one. I'm not gonna this isn't gonna ruin my night. I'm going to go grab another one, and this just chalk this up to a bad egg, and we'll move forward. But it's very rare that I'll get a cigar that is so unpleasant to smoke that I'll put it out. It's usually the construction or the conditions, and that almost pisses you off more because it's probably should have been a really good cigar, but you just either you fucked it up or it was fucked up before you bought it. And,
like the
could have been the cigar that the fucking dumbass next to you crunched in his fingers, and I was the idiot who came behind him the next day and bought it and didn't realize it was all cracked up on the inside and everything else. So
that being said, when I go to a humidor, I'll typically try to grab one that's buried a little bit just I know it hasn't been finger fucked.
I'll go to the the box behind the box that's open and dig one out of there. I'm the same fucking way because ever since I saw that guy going right down the line, it was that fucking total swine, and he was just rolling. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? You just ruined $100 worth of cigars at least. And some idiot's going to come behind you. Not idiot, but some unsuspecting person is going to come behind you and just grab it and not do those stupid things and think they're getting a good cigar, and they just wasted $12 or $20. So
that being said, I have switched over to his barber pole cigar, and it's a dual wrapper of a Connecticut and a Habano, which is real nice because that Charlie Mike was a heavier double Maduro. Granted, it was more of like a mild or medium plus, but it still had like that heaviness to it. This is a nice lighter one. Nice way to finish out the show. little bit like creaminess and a little bit of nuttiness, kind of like what you would think from a Connecticut or a Habano mix. But yeah, it's real good. Going great with his 10th Mountain whiskey or the rye. Oh, I think he's coming back on.
Yeah.
There he is.
Dude, so I know what happened. My fucking phone went dead.
There you go.
I was like, how did that happen? It was at 100% when we started.
Shit happens.
But I guess my phone's not. They're like, my phone's like, what the fuck, bro? I'm not used to you doing so much. All right, where were we? I don't even know where we leave off on.
I don't remember, but I was just talking about the second cigar I got into. Your little barber pole.
Oh, nice.
So definitely a little bit lighter than the Charlie Mike, but it's a nice way to finish out that Charlie Mike. Like I was saying before you jump back on, it's like a medium plus cigar, but it definitely has like a full body cigar, well, full flavored with the little bit of a milder body. This one's a nice kind of cleanse the palate. It's creaminess, a little bit creamy, a little bit nuttiness. Not too much spice to it. There's a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah,
it's still going great with this 10th Mountain Rye.
Great segue too. To go from Charlie Mike to that definitely goes into it. Even though it's a mild to medium, it definitely is a great transition, which almost makes you feel like you're on very mild mode.
Yeah. So that was one thing that. So one of my best man at my wedding, he was to tie it in with veteran. He was he was in the Marines for I think 12 years, 8 years, something like that. He was in for a while. He's fucked up in the head. That's why I love him. We used to go to you would know Island Girl off of Gate Parkway here in Jacksonville. We used to go every, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. They would have trivia night, and then after trivia they would have live music. So we would sit there for 4 or 5 hours.
Nice.
And the first few times it was like I picked up a cigar and it would last me a couple hours, and I would sit around and have a couple drinks afterwards. But the more we went, I was like, I feel like I need to have a cigar in my hand, like one of those things. So like I've said in the past, and I've said on this show, I like a Nicaraguan Maduro or Habano. So my dumbass would start out with a heavier Maduro cigar. And then when I finished that one, I'd go back into the humidor and pick another Maduro cigar and just completely blow out my palate.
Oh, yeah.
And then over some time, I've found out that like I'm not the biggest Connecticut fan. Like there's a few out there that I love, but for the most part, they're just too light or they're not enough flavor. But I've found out that if I smoke heavier, whether it's a Maduro or even some heavier Habanos, and then go to a Connecticut, like there's something with that chemical balance that enhances some of these flavors in the Connecticut, whether it's the flavor still hanging around from the older,
because you're still coming off the spices and everything,
and they work perfect. So that's something that I'll try to do is if I have a heavier cigar and I still have some time, I'll pull out a little bit of a lighter, whether it's a Connecticut or something like this. That's a little bit of a blend, and it kind of I get a little bit of the flavors from the old cigars and able to match it up with this cigar, and there's something in there that just it's I don't know, it's magical. It just kind of blends everything together. And some cigars that I typically wouldn't smoke because I don't like them. Well, not that I don't like them, they don't fit my palate. Ends up fitting my palate because of whatever's happening inside the mouth hole. That being said, this is a fantastic cigar.
Awesome. Thank you.
Like I said, I've had this one. I want to say that event in Boogerville was what, 2019?
Yeah.
18, 19, somewhere in there. Well,
like 19. It would have been 19.
At least 19, because you said you started. So it was either 19 or right before COVID shut everything down.
Yes.
But so I've had this since then, and that burn line, it's a little wonky, but like I said, I'm outside in Florida, but it's spot on. I haven't relit it once.
Wow.
So it's going real well. And like I said, it went real well with this 10th Mountain Whiskey or Rye. I had a little bit of the Starlight Rye Doubled Oak.
Wow, so 5-6 years since you've had that cigar sitting there. Nice.
And it's still smoking great burn
Awesome.
line and everything. So
Glad to hear that.
yeah, great flavors. But yeah, Paul, we'll have to get with Adam. And one of these next few episodes, or eventually that we don't have a guest or something, we'll have to do a cigar lounge etiquette episode or something like that.
Yeah.
You just kind of take it for granted and think that people know, and until you go to an actual lounge and people are just crunching shit around, snubbing cigars out, doing stupid shit. And yeah, that's, I don't know. I'm trying to remember my first cigar lounge. It was in Tampa, or at least like the Clearwater area. And that was probably what got me smoking more cigars. Is it doesn't matter if you're smoking a $5 cheap cigar or $100, $150 cigar. You're in the same lounge smoking together.
Yep.
You're gonna be talking, and it's going to be like this. What are you getting off that cigar? Or why do you like that cigar? Oh, I like it because it tastes like this, or it's going well with this whiskey or this rum or whatever else. And yeah, that's basically what I like with this old cigar lounge.
Yeah, and you can always tell also, like, you know, who is there for the cigar lounge experience and who's there to take selfies and and want to make posts. Like, that's, yeah, like, all right, this guy can't have conversations with because he's only here because he wants to become an influencer. So yeah, so it's very tricky, but at the end of the day, yeah, if you cigar etiquette, cigar 101 etiquette for cigar lounges is definitely a great topic to have. Um, you know, it helps folks understand some of the things that they might not even understand that people are looking at, or people are like, dude, like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like, that makes no sense.
And I'm sure I've done some of this stupid shit when I first started.
I've done.
I guarantee you, I have.
I've done plenty of it. Like, that's probably why I know about it so well, because I know in the beginning I did plenty. Now I tend to not, even in the beginning, I when I don't know something, I tend to not do anything. I'll just sit back and be like, I'll more observe what everyone is doing and be like, all right, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. I can't do that. And that's how I study things. But to just go in and just start doing my own thing, it's like, nah, calm that shit down.
Yeah, that's how I was when I first started getting into the whiskey and cigar game world, whatever you want to call it. Was I would kind of sit back and watch other people and try to learn, and then after some time, it's just like, hey, why are you doing that? Like, I started asking questions and trying to figure out like why they're doing this versus that, or why they picked that whiskey over this whiskey or whatever. And it's
like guys who like to light up cigars like it's a fucking Newport. You're like, guy, heat up your cigar first, bro. Like, why do you why did you just throw that cigar in your mouth and start lighting it? It's like, calm down, dude. It's not a fucking Newport. It's not a Black and Mild, guy. Like, relax.
Yeah.
You know? Fucking, I'm telling you, man, the amount of fucking crazy stuff you see with people do, and of course, you know, you try to help them out to you know, but you also deal with some folks who they're they want to appear to know what the fuck they're doing, so they're like, hey, this is the way I always do it.
This is how
like,
I
yeah,
was
but
told.
your cigar's lighting up with a fucking canoe right now because of how you just lit that shit up.
You
Then
got
you're
a
gonna come
flame
back
on
and
the
be
end
like,
of yours.
look at the way the cigar's burning. Well, yeah, motherfucker. Like, you just sat here, threw it in your mouth, and lit it all on one section. No shit. It's gonna burn only in that section, guy. What do you think? It's just gonna naturally start falling into place because it just no, you have to fucking kind of do your part too. You know, it's a balance, guy. You gotta work with the cigar. You gotta, you gotta care for it as well. You can't just expect it to do everything for you.
Yeah, no, it's not a race. Enjoy it. Relax, sit down, enjoy it. It's not a race.
That's what cigars and at least for me, cigars and whiskey are about just sitting back and enjoying it. And whether it's with you guys on this podcast or me sitting inside the house with a pour, or me sitting out here with a cigar, it's my time to sit back and just kind of disconnect with the outside world and have me time. And
Yes, absolutely.
for
And
me, I love talking about whiskey. I love talking about cigars. And the few people that want to listen, I love talking about beard products and different oils and whatnot. But um, so
and writing too. How, like, this is a thing that not many people do anymore. But I'm gonna tell you another good thing to do while smoking a cigar is writing. You know, whether whether it be writing because you're planning out the week and you're just wanting to write out. Because sometimes I do that when I wake up in the mornings. I like to drink coffee, smoke a cigar, and I'll start writing out my task
Yep.
for that day or the week, and I'll just enjoy my time doing that. And but I have a buddy who will sit there because he works on films and he starts to work on his writing scripts for film, and he'll sit back and smoke a cigar. So there's like so many different things you can do while enjoying a cigar, So it's just, just understanding what that productive thing is, because if you're in some way, shape, or form feeling productive, right? If you're reading a book, you're productive. If you're listening to a podcast that is, you know productive or entertaining you, and it's working for your endorphins and everything like that, it's still a productive thing that you have going on, so it's just like a combination of smoking a cigar and somehow feeling like you're creating. That's the better word for it. Like you're somehow channeling your creative, the creative mindset. So I that's what I do a lot. I like to get into my creative mode because I tend to look at cigars at that's what I look at cigars as, art. Cigars to me are art,
Mm-hmm.
and it what better pairing is there than for cigars to help you somehow become creative in some sort of way, shape, or form, whether it's fucking building a dog house for your dog and you're like, what, I want to look into building this, blah blah blah, and you start doing all your homework right there while enjoying your cigar, and you start coming up with your plans, and then you plan, prepare, and execute those things. So yeah, there's a million different things you can do while smoking a cigar that is not necessarily wasting your time. It's more of an ROI. It's a return on investment. You're getting something out of that moment. And sometimes, whether you're by yourself or you're in conversations with other people, that is a return on investment. That is a return on investment because of good energy.
Yeah. Um, going with that whole thing. A lot of times, like when I'm sitting inside, whether it's in the little man cave bar room, my office, whatever you want to call it, or on the couch in the living room watching a movie, if I have a pour, a lot of times, there's a couple times that I'll just pull the Wild Turkey 101 off the shelf or the Makers off the shelf, and I just want to drink and whatever. But I'd say a majority of the time I'm sitting there and I'm with one glass for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, and I'm sitting there smelling it, tasting it, basically. And I got a spreadsheet on my computer, well, a Google Doc, whatever you want to call it, and I'm writing my notes of what I'm getting and whatnot. And it's just a way to kind of, like I said earlier, disconnect from the world and whatever. 90% of the time, she's watching a movie in there, or we're watching a TV show. I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Like I'll look up
Yeah.
every once in a while. I'll be like, "Oh, this is a cool show. Maybe I should probably get back into this later." But I'll get back down and I was drinking the whiskey, smelling it, and then next thing I know, I'm doing a deep dive of how this distillery got started, or how this master distiller got started with distilling, or this and that. And it's just like that. Like that's my creative side. Like,
Dude,
I don't post it on Instagram or Facebook. That I do sometimes, but not that often. But I have a whole Google spreadsheet, whatever you want to call it, of all my, like, not all of my bottles that I have, but a lot of the bottles I have with reviews, and I got like a little rating system that I'm doing, and just kind of see what I like and don't like. And it's been going on for years, probably since COVID.
Dude, I have a fun fact for. Hey, now we're going into marital advice. Check this out. If I've been married for 26 years, and I'm telling you right now, when they see you sitting down doing those type of things, like taking out a spreadsheet, taking notes and stuff like that, they love that shit.
Mhm.
They love that shit. They love what they listen. They might be over there in their own world watching fucking, I don't know, 90 Day Fiance, Sex in the City, whatever the fuck they have going on. But they women are way more multitasking, way better at multitasking than us. Like we tend to fucking zone the fuck in and whatever the fuck we're doing. We can't be everywhere in our minds. But women can do things and also be observing you at
Yeah.
the same time, and they love it.
Oh,
They love it when they see you doing things, when they see you channeling your creative forces and all that shit. Man, they're watching you and they're like, "That's my fucking man right there."
Oh, there's times where I'll be sitting there, like, and I won't be doing like a review or something. I'll just be sitting there with a drink. She goes, "What are you thinking about?" I go, "Huh?" She goes, "You got your thinking face on." I go, "Nothing." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Nothing." Like, I was peaceful. There was nothing going on here. I had my drink. I'm watching the show. She goes, "How do you do that?" I go, "You just kind of
Turn off."
My wife,
you turn a switch and off."
listen, I promise you, my wife has learned over all these years. She tends to not ask me that question of "What are you thinking about?" because she knows something crazy is about.
Oh,
Because
it's either going to be
she'll see me in
nothing
a
or
thought.
just
She'll see me. I'll be like, and she'll like, "What are you thinking about?" I'm like, "You really want to know?" She's like, "Fuck it, tell me what you're thinking about." I'm like, I'm asking myself, why the fuck did John Claude Van Damme never fucking go and beat the shit out of Steven Seagal? Why the fuck did he was in the same place so many times? Why didn't he just go roundhouse this motherfucker and catch him in a? She's like, I knew it. Forget it. Forget that. I mean, you asked me what I'm thinking about. That's
yeah.
legit what I'm fucking
Yep.
thinking about right now.
Yeah. It's half the time I'm not thinking of anything. Like I turn the switch, there's nothing going on. I'm just staring into blank space. The other half is Paul and Adam.
Conspiracy theories.
They got conspiracy theories, and I'll listen to it. And I got my own conspiracy theories, and I haven't been able to jump on that show just because they go for like 4 hours. Like,
Oh, I bet.
I know Sundays I got nothing going on 99% of the time, and I could sit here for an hour. I could sit here for 5 hours, 6 hours, and I know I got nothing going on. I got dinner sitting in there waiting for me, but I got nothing else to do. During the week when they record, like I got shit. I got to go to work at like 6:30, 7 in the morning, and I got to be somewhat present. So I can't do these. So eventually I'll get on there, but it's either nothing or some kind of conspiracy theory or why the fuck did this guy just throw the football instead of run or vice versa? Or,
Yeah.
like yesterday, like I'm a Florida fan. I was obviously watching the Florida Georgia game. And I was sitting there thinking, like, that motherfucker, that was a fucking catch. He ruled it incomplete. That was a fucking catch. Like, that's bullshit. So yeah, it's but
You know, hey, listen. You, i- if you guys are Paul, you're a big college football fan too.
no, he's
No, NFL. I pay attention to college football, but I'm not. I'm huge in the NFL.
I'm gonna tell you what I feel about college football. I am not. Do I watch games and stuff like that occasionally? I do, but I don't have a team because I feel like the people who are fans of those teams either A, they grew up in a fucking household that they just grew up that way, or B, they went to that fucking
yep.
school and that's why they're big fans of those teams. So I can't like magically show up today in 2025 and be like, oh, I'm a Tennessee fan or I'm a fucking Florida fan because I didn't grow up that way. I grew up in Massachusetts. My family wasn't watching
Yeah,
college football.
up
So
north is not college football.
yeah. Up north is just fucking the big leagues and stuff like that. Now, don't get it twisted. There's some areas in Massachusetts that are insane Notre Dame fans and all that shit. Like, you know what I mean? But I didn't grow up that way. So whenever I see people down here that they love their football teams when it comes to college. I kind of like that. I find it cool because I'm like, man, that's cool to grow up knowing that you love that team, and but it's hard for me to sit here and watch and embrace the actual team because I didn't grow up watching those. But it's cool though.
Yeah.
I watch just to see what's coming to the big league. In my mind, is the NFL. So
I love NFL, but of course I'm a diehard Pats fan. That's my team, obviously, and I love boxing. So I love watching me some boxing, and those are the sports that really get me, riled up.
I'm NFL and hockey. Jerry's a big hockey guy too. But I do have to say that last night I watch about one baseball game a year, and it's usually the last one. And I watched that game last night.
That game last night was crazy.
Fantastic game. God,
that was a crazy game. The Dodgers were supposed to lose that game 6. That's so crazy.
I know. God bless America. Fuck Canada.
she's getting ready for bed, and I'm like, I'll be in like 2 minutes. It's the top of the 9th inning. Like we got like 2 outs, and I'll be in bed. Next thing I know, it's tied game. I go, it's gonna be a minute. Like it's extra innings now.
But you know what? I don't have a like. First of all, I think that's the way it should be in all sports, right? I don't want to fucking hear about ties in the NFL. That shit drives me crazy. I'm like, dude, fucking play. I don't give a fuck if 24 hours go by. Somebody's gonna somebody. You want to know? Somebody told me a few days ago. Yeah, but you gotta understand, NFL. Cats can get hurt. Well, yeah,
that's fine.
It's the name of the game.
They signed that contract.
Even if you want to talk,
contract.
Even if you want to go that route where there's injuries, look at hockey. They go to a shootout.
They came up with a good way around it.
You could go to a kick out. You go to kind of like how soccer has the penalty kicks or whatever you call them.
Or you could go to red zone. Just go to red zone. You get it on the 20. You get it on the 20.
That's what college football does. I think they get 25 or 30.
Yeah.
Something like
I don't want to hear, I can't stand when I see somebody in the NFL, they get a tie. I'm like, dude, this makes no fucking sense.
Like in soccer and hockey, you got the little shootout or penalty kicks or whatever, where it's one person versus the goalie. You could put that kicker out there at the 5-yard line and then go back 10, 15 yards each kick until one kicker mix it. Which would be awesome because we all know kickers don't do shit through the game 90% of the time. Let them have their fucking moment in the game. Like, hey, like.
And it would make the game better because you would focus on, like, cause I've always said, like, if I was an NFL, GM, I'd be the team that had the fucking best kicker and he'd be the highest paid kicker in the NFL because, 6 times a week. It happened 4 times today where games were won on a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
And I feel like NFL franchises just completely sleep on having like a fantastic kicker. They're just like, oh, next guy up and hopefully he'll make it. But like if you have, like you had Vinatieri and Gostkowski that won Super Bowls for you. Fucking Panthers. Vinatieri beat the goddamn Panthers on a last minute kick in the Super Bowl. It pissed me the fuck off. But like that's where like I just don't understand. It's such a crucial fucking position that teams just completely sleep on and don't pay attention to. That would be a cool twist if you went to, fourth quarter expires and it's tied. Kickers line up on the 30. Boom, boom. Now you're on the 40. Boom, boom. Yeah. And the first person that misses loses. That would be awesome. That would be
dude. I would love watching that.
That'd be intense. Now we're now in boxing is a little different. I can understand how sometimes there's a draw in boxing because let's be real. Sometimes guys go at it and they are both that fucking good, and there is just, what are we gonna do? Sit here and fucking die here as they keep doing the same exact shit? Like is in boxing, it makes sense for there sometimes to be a draw, and I'm okay with that because, like I said, sometimes, because if not, we're just gonna get a world of boredom after so many rounds. If these boxers have the same exact style, it's just going to become insanely boring.
And they're going to just get tired and slow down, and it's just going to be
We've all seen it.
Yeah,
Those
but
10, 12 rounders where they're just kind of
Hugging
they throw
each other.
like one punch
yeah,
for the whole
yeah.
fucking 5-minute round or 2-minute round, whatever it is at the time. They're hugging each other. It's just like, all right, we're done.
But that's different. These are violent sports. Those
Yeah.
make sense. In NFL, it's a team fucking sport. You could like you said, you could figure it out down to the kicker, down to the red zone. Like it's there's ways around this shit to there no longer be draws in this sport. There shouldn't be a fucking draw in fucking NFL.
No.
Yeah, or here's a good one. When you go to overtime in the NFL, your backup quarterback has to come in.
Ew, that's a good one. Yeah, that is a good one.
Have just a little bit of something, some suspense, a little bit of something that it's not just an extra quarter. Have something cool about it where because I know today, like I'm standing up in front of the TV when Carolina's lining up to kick that kick, and then fucking Green Bay uses their last time out to ice the kicker, which is the stupidest fucking thing I think is ever. And they've interviewed kickers. The kickers are like, I already know that I have to kick the ball to win the game. 30 more seconds isn't going to make me fucking get in my head.
Most kickers know if there's a timeout on the table, they're going to
take it. Right. They'll be surprised if they don't, to be honest. But stupid ass old school coaches are like, let's ice the kicker. It's the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
It is. It's dumb as fuck.
But I'm standing up in the living room watching to wait to see if he's going to hit, because we had just got a penalty and backed up the fucking extra point to the 48-yard line. We missed. He missed the kick, and now it's 49-yard kick to win the game. And I'm like, sweat, and that's intense. Like, that's what you want for overtime. You don't want just a fucking extra quarter with the same players. I want backups in, or kicking challenge, or something crazy, or 7-on-7 or something crazy like that.
Give us something, but don't give us that fucking draw. That draw makes no fucking sense.
It makes no sense. You just muddies the playoff race. Because like Green Bay today, we're looking at the record. Like Carolina was during the game, you see right next to score. Carolina 4-4. Green Bay 5-1-1 or whatever the fuck it was, but they have that tie there, and I'm like, it just muddies the whole fucking playoff race with that stupid tie that they have on their record. It's just dumb.
All that being said, this Jags Raiders game overtime. Jags score, kick the field goal, kick it off. Raiders go downfield, score a touchdown. They go for 2 to win the game instead of tying it and miss the 2-point.
Oh yeah, wait. Say that again. Well, sorry, my fucking phone just started once again doing crazy stuff.
So the game goes into overtime. Jags Raiders, right? Jags march down the field, get a touchdown, get the extra point, go up by 7. They kick off. Raiders go downfield. They score a touchdown. Instead of kicking the extra point for the tie, they went for a 2-point to win the game, and they missed it.
Holy shit!
So, at least there was no tie there.
So Jags won.
Yeah, by one.
Oh, my buddy in Italy right now has to be losing his fucking mind right now. How pissed he is.
Some crazy shit is that I just heard this week. I don't know, you guys might have seen this online, but the CFL, the Canadian Football League, there was a game where it was tied. Last second field goal from 40 yards or something. It was a longer field goal, but their field's all weird. Their cameras, everything is Canada. In Canada, it's all fucking ass backwards. He lines up to kick the field goal. He fucking misses it. Just barely kicks it left. Misses it. The team just goes fucking nuts because evidently in the CFL, there is a rule that if you kick a field goal and you make it, it's 3 points. But if you miss it, but you clear the end zone, but you kick it out of the end zone, it's like 1 point. Yeah. 1 point. And so they won by 1 point because the motherfucker missed the field goal. But he kicked it out of the end zone. So it wasn't short. He just kicked it far enough to get it out of the end zone.
As long as you boot it past the end zone, because their field goal posts are on the goal line or like 2 yards in the field, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So as long as if you miss it, but yet it still goes out of play, basically, you get a point.
What the fuck is that kind of shit? It's just one thing. It's just Canada handing out participation trophies like that.
Well, it's the same thing as in like arena football here is during a kickoff. If you kick it off through the field goal post, it's called dropping the deuce and you get 2 points on a kickoff. So like if you lose however you want it. If the beginning of the game, the coin toss, you win the coin toss. I want it second half. So you're kicking off. You kick off. There's still 20 minutes on the clock or whatever, 15 minutes, whatever it is, and it goes between the goalposts. It's 2-0 to start the game, and then they get the ball at the 10-yard line or 5, whatever it is in arena football. But you're up 2-0.
Yeah. So crazy.
Oh my god.
At least in that instance, the guy did something. He kicked it through the goalpost. In the CFL, the motherfucker, he could kick it to the corner of the fucking end zone as long as it goes out of the end zone. He doesn't even have to be close, and he still gets a goddamn point. That blew my. I'm like, what the fuck is this rule? This is
it's Canada. They haven't won anything since, what was it? Well, basketball won in 16, 17? But the Blue Jays or was it
Blue
baseball,
Jays
hockey, and
Was it the Maples?
yeah. So the last Canadian hockey team to win was in '93, I think it was, which was the Canadiens.
Mm-hmm.
Maple Leafs haven't won it since like 63 or something like that.
Holy shit.
The Blue Jays haven't won it since '93 because I think it was Blue Jays and Canadiens winning the Stanley Cup and World Series in the same year, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
And then you had the Toronto, was it the Raptors or whatever? I don't watch.
Oh,
I don't watch
yeah,
basketball,
with Chris Bosh.
which was back in like 2016 or something like that.
Damn.
So I don't watch basketball, so I know it was closer, but
Listen,
basically Canada hasn't won a major thing in almost 10 years.
The funny thing is, though, that I was thinking about this last night, though, when I was rooting for the Dodgers, because I'm not a baseball fan at all.
See, I was rooting for the Blue Jays because fuck the Dodgers and fuck Shohei.
I just was because the Dodgers are not Canadian. But I was thinking about this. I was like, when it comes to the big four sports, like, you don't really have to think about this in football. So it's really just hockey, baseball, and basketball. None of the teams in Canada have Canadian players even on them, like, except hockey. You know, basketball and baseball, it's mostly like American players and
baseball
American players that are
majority
of players that are none of them are from Canada, and it's only really hockey. But half the Canadian players play on U.S. teams, and there might be a few sprinkled in on Canadian teams. But it's not. It's until you get to the Olympics or the world, the world stage where it's, you have to really be there. But I still find myself rooting against Canadian teams for whatever reason.
Oh, with baseball, the majority of them are Dominican or right. Somewhere down there.
I'll tell you what. You said earlier you don't watch basketball. I got myself into. By the way, I gotta get sorry guys, but I gotta get going soon because the wifey cooked dinner a little while ago and she's like waiting to see when I'm gonna come in for dinner. But I got into a discussion. I think it was yesterday because these guys in the barber shop, they were talking about basketball, and they immediately started talking about that GOAT topic. And when I immediately was like, when they said, this was the comment, they were like, at this point, the only person above LeBron, maybe, they fucking said this, maybe, we're talking about maybe Jordan. I said, fucking maybe?
Let me ask you, before you go on, these guys were younger than 30, were they not?
The oldest was 33.
Yeah, exactly.
So these guys, no, that's not the crazy part. The crazy part was what I said that pissed them off, like, to a point they all started losing their fucking mind. Because I was like, first of all, like, the only person that I consider after LeBron, after Jordan, is fucking Kobe. Like, why are we talking about LeBron and in that? Like, bro, Kobe is way above LeBron. Like, we never can fucking LeBron ever do anything that Kobe did. That's number one. And this is where I pissed them off. They were like, oh, so you think LeBron is 3? I was like, fuck no. LeBron is not top 5. And They were like, not top 5? I said, bro, I'm telling you right now, You know who I put above LeBron? And they were like, who? I said Larry Bird. Larry Bird is above, and they were like, you fucking disrespect. I was like, bro,
Wilt
Larry,
Chamberlain, Magic Johnson.
bro,
I mean, I can.
Bill Russell, 11 rings.
I don't
Like,
put LeBron in the top 10.
I was going to say he
he's
might
not.
be top
He's not
10.
the top player in his era. Steph Curry is better than him.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, oh my God, I said that. I said Steph Curry is fucking way above LeBron. And they were like, why? I said, no, you see, the problem is you guys are talking shit because you're looking at Steph Curry as a small dude. But what you don't realize is that let's talk just strictly 3-pointers here, right? Early in the game, when we thought about 3-pointers, we thought about Larry Bird. After Larry Bird came Reggie Miller. After Reggie Miller came Ray Allen.
Mhm.
And I said, let me tell you something. When it came to 3-pointers, that fucking dude Steph Curry made the entire league change up their strategy because of how he was raining down these threes. Every team was forced to say, fuck, we got to get better at shooting threes because this motherfucker, with anybody he teams up with, Klay Thompson, whomever, they start calling them the Splash Brothers and shit, and they start raining down. I'm like, so for me, anybody that changes the fucking game, you should be considered in that type of topic. I was like, when has anybody ever been scared of LeBron when he comes into town? Nobody.
You're not
Bro,
changing the rules because of what LeBron's doing.
Bro, Jason Tatum dunked on fucking LeBron when Jason Tatum was a fucking rookie. That's so disrespectful. That lets you know how much he's not fucking afraid of LeBron. You know what I mean? Like no team has ever been. LeBron has never shook. Unlike a Jordan, every time a Jordan would come into town, this team had to say, "Fuck, we gotta figure out how the fuck to play because of that one fucking dude." Yes, I understand he's accompanied by Pippen, Steve Kerr, and fucking everybody else, Pippen, like all these other players on the team. But at the end of the day, you had to adapt to fucking Jordan's style and what he might do in this one fucking game. Same as fucking Curry. Curry would come in and you don't know what the fuck kind of thing this kid is gonna do, and you're brushing him off because of his body stature and everything like that. But it's like, dude, this fucking kid is immaculate. And again, I'll tell you that Larry Bird was one of those fucking dudes that people had to worry about how he played because his mindset was so on another fucking level that it created worry in every team they came up against.
And he was an assassin, just like Jordan was. Where like you would say something to him,
not even Jordan can get past Bird lots of times.
Right.
Like
and
lots of times.
It was like their games elevated, like the flu game with Jordan and stuff. It was like when you pushed him, he would rise to the occasion. LeBron flops more than a fucking soccer player. Like he doesn't rise to the occasion.
And this is not us just saying he flops. He's proven it. He's been caught on camera flopping and peeking through his thing. Yeah, like we've caught you like, dude, you are like, man, you're a shitbag in this league. Yes, you know, I always say that the GOAT is the person who changes the game. And yes, you, LeBron, you did change the game for the worst. You changed the game for the worst. You made it seem like it was okay to flop and take time off. That is how you changed the fucking game. You made it worse.
Nope, I totally agree. It's so laughable when people even consider him in the fucking GOAT conversations. Like, you're leaving out, like, just look at the dream team from 92. Like, I mean,
yeah,
like kids forget about, like, or they don't know that,
I
like,
can't put
all
you
of those
above
players
Shaq. I can't put you above Shaq. I can't put you above David Robinson.
I don't put you above Karl Malone, David Robinson. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, it's a different era, I know, but like these younger kids, like they need to go back and watch some tapes from the fucking early 90s.
I can't even with the practice shit. I can't even put you above Allen Iverson.
Iverson, yep.
If it wasn't for the whole practice scandal, Allen Iverson would have been insanely respected. Allen Iverson also changed the game because of his handles. The way he handled the ball made cats, because before Allen Iverson, there was Tim Hardaway's and people like that had handles, but no one had handles the way when Allen Iverson came in, they were like, fuck, this dude is legit, literally breaking our fucking ankles and making us get into the fucking ice bath because he fucking hurt us during the game. So
I wish there was, like, I wish GMs would be honest and somebody would do a poll in the NBA and poll all the GMs and say, next year's class, the 2026 class, is Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. Like, just picture all of them coming out. Who you drafting first, second? Put Wilt Chamberlain, put Bird, put all of them. Here's your draft class, GM, and I want to hear from every single GM who you draft in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because if they're honest about it, LeBron's being picked like 15th or 20th, and I wish they would do that to show these younger people that watch the sport that he's not the greatest.
Everybody's argument for LeBron is always the same shit. Have you seen his numbers? Have you seen how he's able to move the team? Here's my favorite one. Now, one time has he been involved for a scandal? I'm like, what is this? The fucking the Nobel Peace Prize? Like, what are we fucking trying to give this dude? I'm basing this shit off of fucking skills.
Right. I say I don't watch basketball, but I do, like, I do follow it. Like, I know.
Yeah.
I take. So back in the day, I did watch it. I did play a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, like T-ball for basketball, like T-ball for baseball for basketball. Like, I did play. And growing up in the Tampa area, obviously you got the Magic and whatever, and you had Shaq and all those guys. So I did watch it in the early 2000s, and then come, I don't know, like the mid 2000s, just like more or less when LeBron and all these guys started coming out. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, but the difference is you didn't have Jordan changing teams to win a championship.
No, that's the point. None of them did.
LeBron's changing team to team.
With the Sonics.
All these guys. Like I get Kobe. Yeah, he might have changed teams, but there was contractual issues or whatever. But most of these guys, like the guys that we've been talking about that are above LeBron, or in our minds above LeBron, which is definitely above, they didn't change teams. Like with Jordan, Pippen, and all these guys, they came to play with Jordan to say, hey, I want to play with him. Jordan didn't change teams to go for another team. He didn't say, I'm going down south to play with these guys to win a championship.
Let's be
clear.
They
stayed there.
What were the reasons that players back in the days changed team? They did not change team for the sake of chasing championships.
It was all contractual.
They changed teams because of some bullshit that they had going on, this, that, and the third. LeBron was chasing fucking championships. The only move that LeBron did that was fairly a fucking decent one was when he went back to Cleveland. That was the only respectable move.
When you have a press conference like it's a fucking a college signing day where you have the table, it's just like
it's a joke, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like
moving my talents.
I am going here. It's stupid. Where they put the hat on, like no.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's stupid. Like every player, whether it's in the NBA or baseball or football or hockey or any of them, even soccer, any of the major sports, you're going to change teams. Like there's going to be some kind of contractual thing. Or you had some issue with the coach or one of the other players, and you want nope, I want to separate myself. But you're not chasing championships. LeBron, in my personal opinion, was trying to chase these championships. Mm-hmm. All right, I know Bosch or this guy was playing down south or playing over here. I'm going to follow him in hopes that we win a championship and hope other people follow me. When Jordan and Larry Bird and all these guys were like, I just want to play because of the game. Like I have fun playing a game, and I'm going to stay here. I'm having fun with these guys. If we win, we win. If we don't, we don't.
Yep.
And that's how I see the
And the more we go down the list, like as we sit here, the top 5, top 10, I start thinking about all these names. I'm like, bro, you weren't better. Anthony Hardaway got hurt. That's the only
Yep.
reason Anthony Hardaway fucking went down. Besides that, that dude was better than you. Sean Kemp, Sean Kemp was insane, dude. Sean Kemp was an insane. Clyde Drexler, like, dude, these guys were.
I can make a case that Scottie Pippen was better than LeBron.
Scottie Pippen, dude, if it wasn't because
he
of
might have been
Jordan,
less
Scottie
crazy
Pippen
than LeBron too.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen was way better than fucking LeBron. Scottie Pippen is insanely better than LeBron.
Yeah.
And we saw it. We saw the way Scottie Pippen
he played in the shadow of the greatest
Jordan.
of all time,
that's the only reason.
But that's why he didn't get recognized as much as he should. But if I'm redrafting,
well, he got
Scottie
recognized.
Pippen is 20 and LeBron's 20. I'm taking Scottie Pippen in the draft.
But guess what? How many kids when we were growing up had Scottie Pippen fucking basketball cards? A bunch. Like, people love having Scottie Pippen cards. I don't see people today talking about having a LeBron card. It's like, bro, there's really no value to these things, man. You can't pinpoint. That's another thing. Can you pinpoint a certain game, something that LeBron did that you're like, oh my God, remember when he did this?
No,
You can't. But unlike him, you can pinpoint things when Jordan dunked on fucking Dikembe Mutombo, when Shaq broke the fucking rim, when Sean Kemp did the fucking crazy thing through the air during the dunk competition, where the way his position was so when D Brown, like, bro, there's like
Reggie Miller scored like what 11 points in fucking 13 seconds,
bro, like insane fucking things that just seem out of. And that's the point. It's out of this world. That's the whole point of sports. That's why we watch sports. We want to see out of this world type shit, especially when it comes to basketball. And LeBron, you just have never done out of this world type shit. It's always been more of the same. Yes, you've extended your fucking whatever because of load management and all this, all the extra ice baths you get. Okay, good for fucking you. But at the end of the day, you have not wowed us. You have not wowed us the way those guys we can pick a time or another when one of them did something insane that we're like, dude, that's why we respect the fuck out of Hakeem Olajuwon. That's why we respect the fuck. Dude, bro, there's so many names that we can continue on to say. If we start to realize it, we're like, damn, this dude legit is not even fucking top 20. They're like, and the only argument for everyone else is longevity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's longevity because he's taken so much time off. Of course he's going to have
Well, not only that, is he bypassed college.
Yeah. Yep.
So when you're getting into the league at 18 years old versus everyone else back in the day, 21, 22, 23 after doing their 4, 5, 6 years in college, because we know back then it wasn't you play your 4 years and you got out. It was you went for college, you played your 4 years, you had the red shirt or whatever you want to call it because you're partying all the time, because that's how it was back in the 70s and 60s and 80s. It like they're playing like there's a couple guys that that played. Well, they didn't play, but they were in college for 6 years. LeBron never went, so he went straight there at 18 or whatever he was, and he's been playing since. And then the last
and then the best person
2-3 years he's been complete shit because he's old.
And then the best person we can compare him to when it comes to that similar situation is who? Kobe.
And he was
Kobe came straight from high school, and he fucking came in and fucking made it known who the fuck he was and how he played. His tenacity
he'd still be able to
another
play.
level.
He'd still be able to play right now.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yes.
Yep.
Like that.
Absolutely.
So like I said, I stopped watching mid 2000s basically after the Bulls were the 90s, and then you had the Magic and all that, like in the mid.
I still watch because I'm a Celtics fan, so my team gotta
see. You're the whole mass Boston fan. That's all. That's all. Coming from someone
right.
from I was born in New York, so fuck all those people.
Hey, listen.
I thought I'd like your cigars until I saw your fucking jersey.
Are you Giants? Or are you?
I'm a Bucks fan.
Mets. No, I mean Jets. Are you Giants or Jets?
If I'm
You're
picking,
Bucks.
I was born in New York, but I grew up in Tampa, so I'm a Bucks fan.
Oh, okay.
The rest of I say the rest of my family. So my uncle he's had season tickets to the Jets since as long as I've known him. And he only did that because my grandparents, his parents were Jets fan or Giants fans, so he wanted to be the outlier, so he became a Jets fan. If I had to pick, I would say Jets fan just because I've been more Jets games than Giants games, and
my argument against the Giants fans who obviously have 2 Super Bowl rings over the New England Patriots, right? And they never.
I got one of the hat. I should have wore it. Shit. I got the one where Eli went fucking ape shit.
But you know what I always tell Giants fans? Yes, you have your 2 rings. I have to respect it. However, New England Patriots never benched Tom Brady. You disrespectful motherfuckers benched Eli Manning for Daniel Jones. You're fucking nuts. The one man that fucking beat the GOAT twice. You're gonna fucking sit him on the bench. You guys are disrespectful.
So
you
going
do
to
not
that,
appreciate it.
So first off, Brady went to Michigan, and I cannot stand Michigan. And then he went to the Patriots, and like I said, I don't like Patriots. I don't like the Red Sox. I don't like.
But you like the Bucks, and you know that's one of our.
So I couldn't stand Brady, but at the same time, I respected the fuck out of him.
Yeah,
like he was one. I say one of the greatest. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks.
He's the greatest person.
It's okay to say.
I hated him when he was with me. Well, he didn't really. It was Michigan. He didn't play too much, but I hated him there. I hated him in when he was with the Pats. But as soon as he signed with the Bucks,
you were like, yes.
I'd be lying to you if I wasn't looking for a jersey.
Bro, what are you talking about? All of us New England Patriots fans were like, I need a Bucks jersey. That's fucking number 12 on it.
I hated watching him play, but at the same time, I respected the fuck out of him. And then when he came down here, and because you know your local news or whatever, they show different parts of it, or the organization show. You could see like what kind of person he was. He was probably one of the most humble people in the fucking world. And him after winning that championship, getting drunk as fuck off of avocado vodka or whatever the fuck he was drinking at the time, throwing the Lombardi Trophy from boat to boat.
Those were his that was his prime in my mind, because as a person, because his kids were a little bit older, so he kind of let loose a little bit. I feel like he's a good father, and he was reserved when they were younger.
Yeah, they were older.
He was divorced at this point, and he was just like, I'm 40. I'm gonna have fucking fun.
That was
drunk and
definitely
throwing trophies around in the fucking river, and it was fucking.
It's funny because, like I said, like all of us who I'm telling you, there had to be 99% of us that when we saw Brady win, that we were all celebrating it like fuck yeah, like we were all.
You're in this area. There's a bunch of people from Boston and Massachusetts, in Jacksonville and in Clay County area. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's a bunch of people from that area down here, whether they're Patriots fans or Boston, or most of them are Patriots fans, Celtics fans, and Red Sox fans, and Bruins fans. So they're annoying as fuck. But as soon as Brady signed, they were like, all right, I'll root for the Bucks.
That's my second.
I'm rooting for the Bucks. This year I'll root for the Bucks.
But yeah, it was one of those things like, I was like, fuck this motherfucker. I respect the shit out of him because he's good, but fuck him. And then he signed. I was like, all right. Maybe I'll look for a jersey. And I was just I'd be lying if I wasn't ecstatic when he signed, because I was like, all right, here's another Super Bowl. That team was crazy.
And you guys got another great version of Brady. It's not like, you know how sometimes when these cats sign to other teams, they're all of a sudden the washed up version.
He was the same.
You guys got another great version of Brady, which obviously got you the fucking ring. So that was super dope. But I gotta get ready.
So you want to tell us where you can find you guys and your cigars and everything? Plug
Yeah,
your
absolutely. So
socials.
our website is montedeleoncigars.com. You could find us on Instagram at Monte De León Cigars. You can also find us on Facebook at Monte De León Cigars. That's pretty much how you find us. You look forward to when we come down to events. Like I said, on November 16th, we're gonna be at Seminole Harley Davidson, set up out there. Good times for a Harley type of event. We're also going to be at the Heritage Cigar Festival in Tampa. And, if you want to order cigars from us, we could ship cigars wherever you are, regardless of where you are in the world. Trust me, we'll fit for. Like, we'll figure that shit out real quick on how to do it. But I think that's pretty much it as far as where to find us. And then if you also want to book us for private events, you can go on our website. You'll see all that information on our website. But yeah, that's pretty much.
That was going to be my next question is ordering on your website, but you got that. So, yeah, we don't want to take up. We've already spent what 2.5, almost 3 hours with you. So
It was fun though. It was fun, even with my fucking hiccups with the phone. I know people are like, "What the fuck?"
Technology is fucked, but we want to thank you for joining us. If you need to head out, go ahead, head out, and me and Paul will.
Thank you guys.
We'll put
I appreciate it again, and thank you 10th Mountain Whiskey for this great whiskey. I'm gonna keep sipping on this as I go into the house and get ready to eat first.
And I'll send you a text with the Bane blends for the that festival you're going to, and then I'll talk with Brian from 10th Mountain, and we'll get you guys in contact with each other. So for that
awesome.
that Marines one, and we'll get all that.
All right, sounds good.
But I want to say thank you for joining us. It was a great time, great smokes.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. You guys take care.
Take it easy, man. Thank you.
All right, out.
So yeah, unless you got anything, Paul, I think that wraps it up for another episode of Bourbon Beards and Belvederes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Great smokes. Like I said, I had 2 from him today. I've had a few from him over the years.
I got some in my cart right now.
Yeah. And
impressed by this Charlie Mike enough where I'm.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to grab some more. Like he said, you could go on his website, which I'll post the websites on a little infograph during this episode, so you'll see it. You go on his website, order anything. You could also find 10th Mountain at 10thwhiskey.com, which is 10th whiskey with an e.com. And then the beard products was Bearded That Is All. That's at bearded with BEARDED USA.com. You can find them there. Great products. I think that's all the plugs that we got to throw out there. Also, be on the lookout. Like I said, when this episode actually gets posted, the giveaway will already be out. So take a look for that giveaway. I'll pin that to our Instagram page, so you can just go to Instagram. It'll be our first pinned post. You could go there, and like I said, main thing is you got to donate. Doesn't matter. Like, yes, we want you to like, follow, subscribe, tag people, and all that good shit. The main thing is you got to donate to a veteran or military charity. Otherwise, you won't be entered. All the other ones are just extra entries. Once I figure out the charity for Bryce over at Silent Hero Cigars, you'll get double entries for that if you donate to that charity for the service dogs. So be on the lookout for that. Take a look for that one. Do all the things. Hopefully we'll get these products out to one of you guys this time, because last time it failed. And it's taking room up in my area. And I know that Humidor's taking room up in Adam's bar. So we want to get that out to you guys. And then these, like I said, these cigars are fantastic. And he offered to throw in an extra 5 cigars for you guys. So definitely do the right thing and donate to a veterans charity, so we get these out to one of you guys. And then You got anything else to throw out there?
No, I think that wraps up another episode of Bourbon Beers
So-
and Belvederes.
Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Bourbon Beards and Belvederes is produced by Adam Bolden, Paul Rousseau, and Jerry Ullman. Edited by Jerry Ullman. Music by Ryan Johnson. You can find all of our links on our website at bourbonbeardsandbelvederes.com and at beacons.ai/Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. As always, enjoy your bourbon and cigars responsibly. Cheers.